Football, politics, hope, defiance. So much at play on a unique day in Cardiff. One nation craves a place at its first World Cup since 1958.
Live football on BBC Radio Wales Sport.
The FIFA World Cup playoff final.
Wales versus Ukraine.
Well, there it is. Wales are out of the World Cup competition, but they can go home to Wales with their heads held high. Wales have lost to Brazil 1-0, and now the Welsh contingent goes home.
64 years, but ending that long wait means ending the dreams of a country devastated by war. For Ukraine, it is about much more than football. But the football, well, that wasn't bad at Hampden Park, was it?
Zoot comes in and can kill off the Scots here, and does! And Ukraine have channeled all the emotion, and they will go to Cardiff.
We have another final. We need to show our best performance in our lives. We have a massive dream to be on the World Cup, and that's what we need to do.
Tonight, two nations unite in solidarity, sympathy, support. But once that first whistle goes...
If we could take away what they're going through in a heartbeat, we absolutely would. Now, this is business, and that's it. This is an opportunity for Wales, for us, to qualify for a World Cup, and full focus is on that.
Is it the World Cup or farewell to football for Wales's biggest ever star? Come on, Gareth. One more moment of magic should answer that.
Bale hits it left foot. Oh my word! Gareth Bale! The stadium rocks. They can almost sniff the final in the summer.
It's Wales v Ukraine, a first meeting since 2016 when the world was a different place and Wales hadn't yet been to the Euros.
7 minutes, 0-0. He chipped it over the wall to Yarmolenko and it's in! Great technique by the Dynamo Kiev player. It's Ukraine 1, Wales 0.
Wales have hit the heights in Europe since then, but can the class of 22 summon the spirit of 58 to join the world's best in Qatar?
Wayne Hennessy,
Ethan Ampadu,
Joe Rawdon,
Ben Davis,
Connor Roberts,
Keeper Moore,
Joanna
Daniel James,
Gareth Bale.
The FIFA World Cup playoff final.
Wales versus Ukraine. On BBC Radio Wales
And on BBC Sounds.
your team for Welsh sport.
This is BBC Radio Wales Sport.
With Ian Hunt.
Sunday tea times don't come much better than this. It is here at last. The countdown is over. It's happening. Welcome to Cardiff City Stadium for an occasion like no other. A truly unique fixture that none of us have ever experienced. Yes, we've gone through playoffs before, but never against a country going through so much pain and so much horror and so desperate, therefore, to reach the World Cup, to bring joy and hope to the millions who are suffering and fighting on the front line back in Ukraine. What a night of high emotion ahead of us. Yes, the red wall stands taller than ever. Red shirts all around the ground, of course. At least 31,000 Wales fans. It's never been fuller, I'm told, than it is this Sunday afternoon. But that blanket of red blending with the yellow and green of Ukraine supporters. There are around 1,800 Ukrainian fans here today, we understand, plus 100 Ukrainian refugees who've got free tickets having fled the war with Russia. Blue and yellow, I should say. Let's get the colours right first of all. There's a few in front of us draped in flags. There's a guy wearing a number 7 Shevchenko shirt as well, and then the rest of them are over in that far corner, tucked in between the family stand and the Ninian stand. And the tension and the excitement around this place, well, it is palpable. You can feel it. So much at stake for Wales, having not been at a World Cup since 1958. But it would mean so much, of course, to the nation of Ukraine to make it. Let's see how our two match summarisers, our two guests, are feeling about it all. They look pretty relaxed so far. The Wales forward Natasha Harding and the former Wales international Nathan Blake alongside Rob Phillips. How are we?
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Good afternoon to you all. First of all, Natasha, Natasha, what an occasion this is. You have to say it's a joy, it's a privilege, and it's an honour to be here for this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It saves me having to purchase a ticket. But yeah, no, look, it's a once in a probably a lifetime opportunity for all these fans to witness this, going through to the playoff that way. Hopefully we'd like to make it a bit easier, but you know, it's going to be an incredible night. I think Wales have to really try and zone out and zone into what's happening on the pitch rather than what's going on around them.
Yeah, it's such a shame, Nathan, isn't it, that Wales have to be the bad guys in a sense to get to the World Cup by beating Ukraine. The world is watching. The world wants Ukraine at the World Cup, but Wales have to, as Natasha says, find a way to take that compassion out of it.
Yeah, I think you can tend to over-focus upon what's going on outside, which is outside of your control. It's as simple as that, Ian. I think the Ukrainian team themselves have come here for competition and wouldn't want it any other way. So I think it's just two teams going at it and trying to get the biggest prize in the world, and that's getting themselves to the World Cup. So I think the more you tend to focus on outside proceedings, the more you will them into your thinking and the way you are and, you know, your attitude. So I would say the talk I've heard from Rob Page and the team this week has been fantastic. They're solely focused on the job in hand because, you know, we've got 3 million people in this country who have gone through the ring in the last 2 or 3 years, and, you know, a boost for everybody. Wales getting to the World Cup would be huge for our country and this nation.
Have we ever known an atmosphere like this at Cardiff City Stadium? I don't know. 50 minutes to go until kick-off and we can barely hear ourselves talk already. Yeah. It's going to be something special, isn't it? Well, this is the scene inside the stadium. It is, I would say, almost a quarter full already, with people keen to be in to see the match, of course, but also the pre-match entertainment. David Ewan will be performing once again in just over half an hour. Umar Ohid, as he did with such passion and such emotion before that game against Austria in March. But let's take you outside the ground. I'm sure it's very, very busy out there still. Molly Stevens is outside with a few Red Wall members.
Hi Ian, yes, I'm outside the front entrance actually of Cardiff City Stadium. It's a little bit rainy at the moment, so my umbrella is up high, but I've met by two fans here, Jeff and Cowan from Gilfaccoch. And Jeff, if I can ask you, when you woke up this morning, knowing that we haven't been into a World Cup since 1958, what were the initial feelings?
A bit trepidatious, but I think we got the firepower to do it. I think Wales 2-0 or 2-1.
Okay, we'll take that. Did you see Scotland-Ukraine in the week? What did you make of Ukraine?
I thought Ukraine played well, but I think because they haven't played for such a long time before, I think they might be a bit tired. I'm hoping they'll be a bit tired and they won't be able to do the job today. I think Scotland were a bit poor, to be honest, but and made them look a bit better than maybe they are.
Yeah. Cowan, I can see you've got a special sticker on your face, Bale 11 it says. Are you hoping that Gareth Bale can help Wales today? Yeah. Do you think he will?
Yeah, hopefully.
And do you think he'll score some goals?
Yeah.
Do you have a score prediction maybe?
3-2 to Wales.
Wow, that would be something, wouldn't it? So you're here with your family today. Are you looking forward to the whole day?
Yeah.
Oh, good. If you were going into that dressing room now with Robert Page, what do you think you'd say to those players, knowing how much this means to the country?
I just say keep a cool head, do what you do best, and just carry on the way they've been playing all throughout the qualifiers, really, because they have got a strong side. I think they can do the job quite comfortably if they play to their best abilities.
Fantastic. Well, enjoy the game, stay calm, and hopefully Wales will get the job done. Really appreciate your time. Back to you, Ian.
Thank you, Molly. Stay calm and keep a cool head. Easier said than done on an occasion like this. It's a grey afternoon in Cardiff. At the moment, it's just the goalkeepers who are warming up. The noise, I'm sure, will go up a few decibels shortly when all of the players run out onto the field for the pre-match warm-up. Just over 45 minutes away from kick-off here on BBC Radio Wales. We've heard from Natasha Harding and from Nathan Blake, Rob Phillips Phillips is our football correspondent, who's seen so many big occasions for Wales over the past few years, Rob. I mean, I think about the win over Belgium in 2015 en route to the Euros. There was that win over Hungary in 2019, which got Wales into Euro 2020, and of course Austria back in March. How's this going to compare for you tonight?
Well, I'll bow to the superior knowledge of Gareth Bale, who said yesterday it's the biggest game in Welsh football history. I understand where he's coming from. Remember, they got to the quarter-final in 1958, then came across a man called Pele, or a boy called Pele, as he was then, who put himself on the international map. But this is different. This is the media age, far more attention, also for the reasons that you've been talking about. But let's face it, everybody in this stadium, bar 1,800 Ukraine fans to our right over there, they're going to want Wales to qualify for the first time in 64 years. This is absolutely gigantic for Wales.
1958, the Queen had only been on the throne 6 years, never mind 70 platinum years. Right, let's hear from Gareth Bale, shall we? As you mentioned him, Rob, I've been speaking to the Wales captain, and of course the big question, as we mentioned right at the top of the show, will tonight be the pinnacle of his career, or possibly the end of it? Are we potentially seeing the final appearance of the man widely felt to be the greatest Welsh footballer ever? Well, Wales fans are obviously hoping that his career goes on for at least another 6 months, and let's face it, at times it seemed like he is on a one-man mission to take his country to the one place he's never been.
The dragon on my shirt, that's all I need.
Gareth Bale hits it left, put it! Oh my word! He's back, Bale! Drives it! Yes! 2-0! They can almost sniff the final in the summer.
It's a massive game. There's no hiding it. We've only ever played in one World Cup, so this is a stepping stone that all of us want to take to play on the biggest level, and we have a massive game that we're desperate to win to achieve our goal.
Forget the summer holidays! Your country needs you!
We love playing at home, love playing in front of our fans. I think it's a cauldron for us. We love the atmosphere the fans create. Intimidates the other teams, and they really are our 12th man, and when we are feeling tired, they sing the anthem, they get behind us and give us those extra energy levels that we need, and it's been amazing.
Bale has bounced Austria out of the World Cup. Wales' World Cup dream lives on.
We have to focus on the here and now and what we need to do first. We can't get carried away with looking to if we're going to win and qualify. We have to concentrate on this difficult game. Yeah, not to get carried away. We've got enough experience in the squad to not do that, and the ones who maybe start to sneak off, we can bring them back down to earth and make sure they're ready and raring to go come kick-off.
You've played in so many huge matches for club and country, but perhaps never in a game like this, where there's been so much emotion around it, playing a team whose country is at war with one of its neighbours. So how is that going to feel? And also knowing that you'll have to be the most unpopular team on earth, really, to deny Ukraine a place at the World Cup.
But we'll be the most popular team in the stadium, so that's the main thing. Now, we understand what an awful thing is going on in Ukraine. Our hearts and everything goes out to the kids, the families, the people of Ukraine, and we've all felt awful during this time and not really been able to do too much. But come tomorrow, it's a game of football. Football is on the line, and we want to win, and that's the only thing. You've just won a 5th Champions League medal. You've played at 2 European Championship finals, but you've never got to the World Cup as a player. You've always talked about that being the one thing missing from your CV. How desperate are you to do it? Yeah, well, it is missing. It's not there. So everybody, we're all massively motivated to qualify for the World Cup. We've put ourselves in with a great chance. 1 game to go. We know it's going to be a difficult game against a difficult team, and we have utmost respect for them. But it's all on the line come tomorrow, and we'll give everything, like I've said. Does your future in football depend on this one game? Not necessarily, no. Like I've said many a time before, I'm not concentrating on what lies ahead in the future. We have a massive game tomorrow that all my focus is on, and I really don't need to think about or worry about anything else, and I have no other worries other than tomorrow's game.
Yeah, part of Real Madrid's Champions League party at the Bernabeu Stadium last Sunday, and 7 days later, here he is, hoping for a World Cup qualification party with Wales. Otherwise, well, his future really will come under intense scrutiny, won't it? Will he play here in the blue of Cardiff, I wonder, his hometown club? So many questions for Gareth Bale this summer. He's out there warming up with the team. They're all out there. Wales on the left-hand side as we look at it, and Ukraine right in front of us in their yellow and blue tops. And those supporters in front of us at the moment, not going anywhere. They're not going to sit down. They're taking pictures of their heroes. They hope that they will deliver them to the first World Cup they've been to since 2006. Now, always a pleasure to have the former Wales manager Jane Ludlow with us on the programme. Hello, Jane. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, good to have you with it. You didn't so much walk into the press box about an hour ago as sort of just skip into it like some kind of whirling dervish of excitement. You're up for this.
I am really excited because look, it's this huge game, but I hope obviously that the group, the guys that are going to go into it with so much confidence and just enjoy the 90 minutes. Well, it could be longer than 90 minutes, but just enjoy the opportunity and hopefully we'll do well.
Yeah, and you've got Natasha Harding alongside me as well, your former player with Wales. Good to reunite you two together. I mean, Natasha, it's hearing from Gareth Bale there. What's your sense of what might happen? You know, does he go on if Wales don't make it? Hopefully they do, but if he doesn't, are we seeing the last dance today?
I hope not, but I don't think so. I think he's got a lot left in him. I think he's always kept his cards close to his chest. I don't think he's one to give anything away, and he's quite present, and that's why he's saying never look at the future. And for me, he's someone that's probably could play for another 2 or 3 years. Obviously, if he picks his club wisely, but no, I don't think it's the last we see of Gareth Bale, whether they qualify or not. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of every Welsh fan that we hope that he stays on for much longer.
Jane, what would your message to Gareth Bale be?
Look, I would never disagree with Tash.
You never have done.
No, but I hope that's the case. I do hope that's the case because he's a talent, isn't he? He's an immense talent. But who knows? I think only him and his family will understand his motivation for the game now and what he wants from his future.
Just an absolute superstar for Wales, as we saw back in March with those 2 goals against Austria. Keen to get your kind of strategic take on things because you do take a very keen eye on the technical side of the game, Jane, and you did a bit of work for BBC Wales on that during the Euros. What's your analysis of what Wales are up against Ukraine? Because against Scotland on Wednesday, they showed a lot of passion, a lot of emotion, as you would expect, but also technically very, very strong, weren't they?
Yeah, well, tactically they were very good. They came up against the structure the Scotland played, which is very similar to what we've chosen in the past, and it was very much a 5-3-2 defensive organisation. And Ukraine, not to bore people with this, but they used the wide areas really effectively, and that's where they really hurt Scotland. So I thought tactically their coach did a really good job. Their players were obviously immense in the game, and this team that we're coming up against now this evening, they have different threats. They can score different types of goals. They're good in build-up play. They're good in transitions, and they're a team that are going to come here for the win. But hopefully, we've changed a few things tonight. We've got our front 3 on there, and hopefully we're going to be really aggressive in this game from a pressing perspective. And when we get the ball, let's go forwards quickly and let's work to our strengths.
And the return, Natasha, of Kiefer Moore up front, has he been picked because it's Ukraine? I mean, if it had been Scotland, would he maybe not have played? Is he in there to give Wales that extra physical dimension against this technically good Ukrainian team?
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be used as a bit of an outball. I think Wales will probably be defending a lot more than what people think. So with him, it allows them to then use a release pass. He's that focal point for them, then allow them to get up the field. And I think Ukraine counter-attacked fantastically well the other night, as well as keeping possession of the ball. But Wales, we've seen them do the same. They sucked in Austria and they counter-attacked, and I think that's what it'll be for the first 20 minutes, is trying to suss out who's counter-attacking, who can maintain control possession, and he's a threat on any set piece as well.
So the other thing I don't know with regards to Kiefer Moore playing, the one weakness I think Ukraine showed against Scotland was the goalkeeper position. To be honest, I'd expect us now as a team tonight, as soon as they get an opportunity is cross that ball in the box, keep swinging them in, because there's an accident there waiting to happen from a goalkeeper perspective.
Really?
So hopefully that, we'll see a lot of
vulnerability
in the attacking third for us today.
A vulnerability they can maybe exploit. And they've talked, Jane, so much about blocking out all of the outside noise, the expectation, the pressure, as well as the emotion around Ukraine and their situation. But how hard is that? You've been in dressing rooms, you know what sort of messages you have to give players. How hard is it for those players out there in red to block out everything else and just focus on the game and not the occasion?
I honestly believe this type of game now for the guys is going to be you go into a different place mentally. You have to, because we're all human beings, and naturally all those guys, whether staff members or players, would want to help our opponents, in the bigger context of what's going on in the world right now. And you have to put it in a box. It sounds stupid, because if you don't, how can we be talking about a football game when there's a war going on? You have to put it in a box, and these guys have to turn up and do their jobs. That's what they're paid to do. That's what we all hope that they'll do extremely well today, and we have to help them focus on that.
Well, there were some suggestions, weren't there, in the week? Graham Souness at Hampden Park talking about whether Ukraine should get a place at the World Cup anyway, even if they don't win the game here this evening. But that's for further down the line. If they get there, then you can imagine what that means to that nation. Jane, really good to talk to you. Enjoy the game. Keep smiling.
Thanks very much. I do hope I'm going to continue smiling.
We hope so as well. Thank you very much indeed. Jane Ludlow there. More to come from Natasha Harding. You are with BBC Radio Wales as we continue our build-up to Wales-Ukraine in the World Cup playoff final. We're talking about Ukraine and what it means to them. Some 1,800 Ukrainian fans are here, we understand, plus 100 Ukrainian refugees who've been given free tickets by the Football Association of Wales, having fled the war with Russia. And Molly has been speaking to Maria Romanenko and her partner Jez, who fled Kyiv at the start of the Russian invasion.
Yeah, so we were just outside of Kiev on February 24th. I was sleeping quite soundly. I didn't hear anything, but I had my earplugs in because I normally do. And I was woken up by my partner, Jez, who was sort of like shaking me, saying, "Wake up, we're being bombed, Ukraine's being bombed." And I was just so sleepy and so confused. I was like, "What are you on about?" And he was like, "There's bombs everywhere across Ukraine. Go on your Twitter, check it out, see it for yourself." And I go on my Twitter and I see my whole news feed on Twitter just been full of accounts of bombs being dropped everywhere, and it was just surreal. I didn't fully believe, as I think most of Ukrainians didn't fully believe, that there would be a full-scale invasion. We thought that if something would happen, it would go slowly from the east. So Jez was like, "Well, I'm going to go to the west of Ukraine, whatever it takes, in order to cross into Poland and go back to the UK, because that's my home. He's from Manchester." And I was just like, I was confused. I didn't know what to do. There was an option to just go somewhere remote in Ukraine, just wait it out. At that point, it seemed like it was something that could be waited out. But I didn't want to be separated from Jez. I thought that if we were separated now, even if things don't go too serious, there might not be flights anytime soon. So I just followed him, and it took us 40 hours to cross the border into Poland. It was horrible conditions, no food, no water, on foot for 23 hours without any toilet facilities as well. We crossed into there, spent 4 nights in Poland trying to sort out the UK visa paperwork for me, and finally got myself into the country, and then changed to family visa, and been sort of a lot happier since, and got my mum over here. The rest of my family is still in Ukraine. Lots of my friends are in Ukraine. Had a friend who was killed by Russia, so still a lot to worry about for me.
Oh, Maria, honestly, my heart goes out to you massively. And, we're here at a football game today. Really speaking, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter in comparison to what you are going through. But how much of a difference will a win today for Ukraine lift your country? I'd imagine it would give a big boost.
Definitely. It's very important to keep all of these things going, the culture, the sports, comedy. I think people who have not experienced the war, they might say something like, well, why does Ukraine even play football? Surely this football players should be at the war or something fighting, or surely the people who attend the football games should be at war. But these people don't realize that it's very important to keep these things going, because that's what keeps the nation sane. It's very hard to live in the news cycle every day, live surrounded by the air sirens, and constantly have to go to bomb shelters without any of this, things that bring you together, that make sure that you're united. And it's very important for all Ukrainians, whether they're in the country in Ukraine or whether they're abroad, crowd, or are they soldiers who I know are watching from front lines if there's a way to do it?
And Jez, I mean, for you, obviously, I'm sure you've been a great support to Maria in this time, but you find yourself outside the Cardiff City Stadium today. You're an Englishman yourself, but how do you see this game going today? And have you had a good welcome from people in Wales?
The people in Wales have been fantastic as always. We're very lucky. My family has a house in Diganway in North Wales, so we regularly come to Wales. We regularly enjoy the Welsh hospitality. And the fans today have been incredibly welcoming. They've been shaking our hands, they've been cheering, and it's nothing less than we would expect. Ultimately, the game will happen, and I would support Ukraine and want Ukraine to win, as will Maria. The Welsh fans equally want their side to win, but I'm just hopeful that when it's all done and dusted, we continue to build on the friendship that's happening today.
Absolutely, and dare I ask, there's a lot of emotion in this game for both teams for different reasons, of course, but which way do you think it's going to go today, both?
I mean, I'd hate myself if I didn't say that Ukraine's going to win, so I'm going to say Ukraine's going to win, but I hope it's a very strong first half of the game. I think it's very important that they play well in the first half of the game.
Jess?
I'd love it to be 2-0 to Ukraine, but my heart is going 2-1 to Ukraine with a very, very nervy last few minutes.
Well, listen, enjoy the game, that's the main thing, and I hope that your family stays safe, Maria. Fingers crossed, it's a great one, and may the best team win. Thank you very much, both. Back to you, Ian.
Molly, thank you very much indeed. Really good to get their perspective on things. There's nearly 2,000 Ukrainian fans inside the ground today, and I guess you could get 2,000 different stories, really, if you spoke to every single one of them. We've got about 3 dozen stood right in front of us, none of them sitting down at the moment. They're holding up flags, they're holding up banners. They've reversed the Wales slogan, Together Stronger. They've got Stronger Together, with pictures of the likes of Andrei Yarmolenko, who plays for West Ham, of course, and Alexander Zinchenko, the Manchester City star, taking pictures with each other, big smiles on their faces, and the section over in the far corner of the ground making a lot of noise there during that interview there that we heard with Molly and the fans outside at the ground. But as far as Wales are concerned, well, this journey towards the World Cup began in March last year. If you remember, it was a 3-1 defeat in Belgium before they had wins over the Czech Republic and Belarus. There were draws with Estonia and the Czechs, a little bit of a bumpy passage in the middle of the qualification campaign. There was then that big win over Belarus, if you recall, before they ended with a draw against Belgium, and then of course that huge playoff semi-final victory over Austria here at the Cardiff City Stadium in March. And so they need one more big night to remember, don't they? And is this the night we see Wales qualify for the greatest show on earth?
Wales are within one 90-minute game of a place in the World Cup finals. Wow, what a night for Welsh football.
They say good things come to those who wait. Well, we've waited long enough. 64 years and counting. 64 years of pain.
The wait to reach a World Cup finals will stretch into a 7th decade.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to wait any longer. The spirit of 58 meets the class of 2022. These are our modern-day heroes: Bale, Ramsey, James, Moore, and Allen. The Red Wall expects
passion, spirit, and togetherness.
The grandest stage awaits. This will be our day, our moment, our future.
He attacks the ball, he hits it brilliantly! Chance and goal! What can you say about Wales' superstar? He's done it again! Cardiff City Stadium erupts! The big man's done it for Wales! What about that?
Let the dragon roar again.
The dragon on my shirt. That's all I need.
Come on, Wales!
Wales are getting ever closer to the World Cup in Qatar.
That's our Nathan Blake. He's fed up of waiting. That's why he's here with us this evening, hoping to see Wales end that 64-year wait for a place at football's greatest competition. He's alongside Natasha Harding. More from them in just a moment. But first, if you are just tuning in, if you don't know who's playing, let's find out. Here's a reminder with Rob Phillips.
Yes, the Wales team shows one change from the side that beat Austria to get here, and it comes up front with the return of Kiefer Moore after injury. So it's Wayne Hennessy in goal. 3 across the back, we think now. Ethan Amadou, Joe Roden and Ben Davis. Connor Roberts and Nico Williams, the wing-backs. Aaron Ramsey, Joe Allen and Dan James and Gareth Bale. The Ukraine side is unchanged from the side that beat Scotland in midweek to reach this match. So it's Bushan in goal across the back. Alexander Karayev, Ilya Zavani, Nikola Matvienko, Vitaly Mikolenko of Everton. Then the holding midfield player Taras Stepanenko. Then across the midfield, Andrei Yarmolenko, Ruslan Malinovsky, Alexander Zinchenko of Manchester City and Viktor Zhankov of Dynamo Kiev. And up front, Roman Yaremchuk of Benfica. The referee is Antonio Mateo Lahot of Spain. And if Wales need any added motivation, it's the presence on the pitch side at the moment of David Brooks, who has recovered from Hodgkin's lymphoma, spotted by the Wales medical team when he was on international duty in October.
Lovely to see him here today, and also Joe Cordina we're expecting at some point, aren't we? Wales's newest world boxing champion. Maybe half-time, word is he may be paraded onto the field. It has started to rain, the drizzle is blowing in to the grandstand here at Cardiff City Stadium, but nothing will dampen the spirits of these 31,000 plus Welsh fans. And I tell you what, there's barely a spare seat to be had at the moment. I think almost everyone is in their place for kick-off, and of course to watch David Ewan perform Ama Ohi very shortly down there on the surface, so in a corner by the Canton stand, I'd imagine. That's where he was for the Austria game. So Nathan Blake, after those soul-stirring words, let's get some cold-blooded analysis from you. We talked in the week, didn't we, after that defeat in the Nations League to Poland, about what team Rob Page would go with. Are you happy with the one he's gone with?
Yeah, most definitely. I don't think there was a right or wrong choice, to be honest with you. I think playing Kiefer Moore up front is, something I would have done myself personally. But you've also got the threat of Dan James in behind, so he's done well to get 2 of them in, because I thought he might go a bit more cautious in midfield. But I think that pace of Dan James and that strength of Kiefer Moore is definitely needed, because you look at this game against Scotland and central defence and centre midfield really, really strong. And I thought I slightly disagree with Jane Ludlow. I thought it was where Scotland had most of their problems, because they had a 4-man midfield with Stepanenko sat behind, and they just kept winning the ball in midfield and then counter-attacking on Scotland, who couldn't handle it. So they didn't get that many balls wide, and their 2 wide men kept making runs across the defenders. So a really dangerous outfit, but I think if Wales match up in that midfield, they'll be fine today.
Yeah, look, for me, I think we'll probably see Harry Wilson and Brennan Johnson come on quite early on in the second half, and then Wales just have to be solid defensively. We saw what Ukraine's threats were. They were able to score different types of goals. They were able to keep possession of the ball, but also counter-attack as well. And that's what they did against Scotland. They were very strong in what they did. And like Blakey said, they were able to win the ball back quite high up in their own half to then allow counter-attacks. And they've got the quality to do so. We saw Zinchenko playing creative in midfield, but that's what Wales can't allow. As soon as they lose the ball, they've got to counter-press and they've got to win the ball back straight away.
I can bring in another guest here in the press box. We've got Neil Taylor, the Wales international, with us, who is a pundit on Match of the Day Wales tonight, 10:30, for you to look back and with pride and passion, and hopefully on a Wales win, or to look back on a hopefully not a defeat. Neil, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. This atmosphere is unbelievable, right?
Trying to find the right words there to sum up the whole occasion. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those occasions we've got to find the right words to convey the magnitude of this occasion. Yeah. What could be this evening?
Yeah, exactly. And I love it. It's a big game when the stadium's full an hour before kick-off, and I think it's excellent, and it's what everybody dreams about. These are the games that Wales need to be involved in, and yeah, I'm really excited.
And you know, you've been involved in them. You know what it's like on these big occasions through that Euro 2016 campaign, you know, World Cup campaigns as well. How does this compare? Because this is just amazing, the feeling inside the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been like this in home games for how long now? The last sort of 4 or 5 years. So I always fancy us at home. I fancy us today. I like the team he's picked. And this is a momentous occasion. Hopefully at the end of it, we're celebrating Wales going to a World Cup.
How do you, the cliche, we heard it yesterday, focus on the game and not the occasion? And this is a unique occasion, let's be honest, with the Ukraine situation and how much it would mean for them to get to the World Cup. But how, as players, do you just focus on the game before and during?
Well, you've gone through the game plan, you've done everything in the days leading up. You can calm yourself down as much as you want, and then the national anthem happens and you've got to go back to zero again. And I think, yeah, that first 10-15 minutes is crucial. Is don't do anything silly, get through it, get through the atmosphere, the excitement, the nerves, and once the game cools down, it will become, hopefully, tactically in our favour with the team we've picked, a good game to watch. But I think, I'm really excited, like I said.
And you know what it means to get to the World Cup for Wales, not just what it means for the team and the fans to be able to go to Qatar, but also what it means for Welsh football generally and the grassroots of the game, I suppose. Just talk about £8 million to get there, 38 million if you get to another semi-final, and just improving the whole structure of Welsh football. That's important as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we see what the Euros did infrastructure-wise in Wales, and how it can help a nation, and like you said, grassroots level. So this will be massive again. And then if you can go on and be successful at a World Cup as well, then you can make even more money, and it's crucial to a nation like us.
Predictions? How are you feeling? Where's it going to go?
I'll go for a 2-1 win. I do think this Ukraine team are a decent outfit, and we're going to have to be at our best. But I think attacking wise, and especially what we still got to come off the bench, is I think we should have enough.
Really good to see you. You're looking very relaxed.
And you. Thank you
very much, Neil. Enjoy this evening. Neil Taylor, part of the Match of the Day Wales team, 10:30 this evening. Right, let's hear from the manager, shall we? We've heard from the captain. Let's get the thoughts of the gaffer. If you go back to 1958, it was a man from Rhondda, Jimmy Murphy, who led Wales to the World Cup. And guess what? Well, it is another Rhondda boy, Robert Page, who hopes to do exactly the same thing. It is the biggest occasion of his career, of course it is, and yet, business as usual, he says.
It's no different when you build up the run for any other game, and that's exactly how we're trying to treat it. We're not creating any more pressure. It's just another game for us. We understand, of course, we do the importance of it. But we've got a plan in place, and it's trusting now in the plan and going out and giving our best.
What about Ukraine? You know the added circumstances of them being here. How much have you had to deal with that within the camp? And what threats do they pose to you?
If we could take away what they're going through in a heartbeat, we absolutely would, every single one of the staff and players. Now, this is business, and that's it. This is an opportunity for Wales, for us, to qualify for a World Cup, and full focus is on that.
Wales are through to the World Cup playoff final in June. Forget the summer holidays. Your country needs you.
The excitement, the buzz around the place. We've given ourselves an unbelievable opportunity. I've got a great group of lads, honestly, it's a pleasure to work with them. I'm honoured to work with them day in, day out. When you've got the quality that we've got in that changing room, and you see that when it all comes together, it's good, then you trust in that. And I'm looking forward to it. What more excited than anything.
Yeah, well, what an evening for Robert Page. Is he going to be the first man to lead Wales to a World Cup since 1958? There was a massive cheer in the grandstand a few moments ago during that when the players led by Gareth Bale went back into the changing room. Just the subs out there warming up at the moment. No one left on the Ukraine. Oh, actually, there are some Ukraine players left. I guess they are the Ukrainian substitutes who now will go back into their sanctuary, their dressing room before kick-off at 5 o'clock. You are listening to BBC Radio Wales, wherever you are across Wales, or the UK for that matter this afternoon. You're very welcome, whether you're listening on the radio, online via BBC Sport or BBC Sounds. It's really good to have your company. We've got Nathan Blake with us, the former Wales striker, Natasha Harding, the current Wales forward, and Rob Phillips, our match commentator, and Robert Page. Rob, you know, the job that he's done, the accidental manager really, when he took over from Ryan Giggs. His future's still up in the air to an extent, but he's got to get a 10-year contract if he gets Wales to the World Cup.
Only because of circumstances it's up in the air, because he took over when Ryan Giggs made himself unavailable for the reasons that we all know. Technically, Ryan Giggs' contract is up at the end of the World Cup, but Rob Page has done all the lifting since he's taken over, and actually now he looks really comfortable in his skin, and as Nathan next to me has often said since the Euros, he's become a better coach on the back of that defeat by Denmark, and this is proof of it, the fact that Wales are here today.
We made that point yesterday, actually, Nathan. We were talking about in the week about learning from the Denmark game when Wales was sort of accused of not really throwing everything at it, and maybe they've evolved since then, and he's tweaked the system to make them a little bit more creative and more threatening, would you say?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, if you don't learn from your mistakes, then you're never really going forward, are you, Ian? So, I think it was evident for all to see against Denmark. He was slightly out-coached, well out-coached, I would say, because of the changes that Denmark made. I think they played 4 or 5 different systems during the game, and we never changed one. So it was for Robert to go away and learn from that game, which clearly he has, because in subsequent games up to this point, I don't think he's really put a foot wrong. And if you look at the game the other night, v Poland, with our backup squad, you would say, still missing the likes of Sorba Thomas starting and Brennan Johnson, we went out and gave a great account for ourselves because of the process. The players trust in the process and understand the process, more importantly, and that can only be down to the manager and his coaching staff. So, I hope, listen, I do believe we'll get through tonight, but long may it continue for Rob Page as the Welsh manager.
You could just hear this noise, isn't it deafening, Natasha? I mean, it's just something else, on another level to anything that perhaps we've experienced at this stadium before. They could probably hear this noise on the outskirts of Cardiff by the M4, I would have thought. I mean, it's amazing. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think, look, it's going to be an amazing occasion, and the fans never let us down. And we saw that against Austria, and we thought it was phenomenal then. But I think tonight is going to beat that 10 times over. And I swear I've just got a message off my mum saying she can hear the stadium in Ashramana. So so it's pretty loud, obviously.
This game is going to be unbelievable today, and the tempo will be really, really high, right? It won't be slow, and what's happening is the heavens have opened, so this pitch is going to be quick, slick, and really fast, right? Along with the anticipation of the game from the players. They know they're going to have to start fast if you're Wales, right? You're going to have to try and run as much energy out to the opponent as possible because of their result the other night against Scotland. So I expect a barnstormer game, and I really think Wales would just come out on top.
We're waiting for David Ewan, I think. I think that's what all the fuss is about, Rob, isn't it? Over in the far left-hand corner. I think he's going to enter stage left. Have they put up a little stage for... Oh, there he is. I can see him down by the Canton stand. David Ewan, who performed O'Heed here before the Austria playoff semi-final in March. And he is back by very popular demand to do it all again. you should see his face. David Ewan, overwhelmed once again by emotion, tears in his eyes. And all the years he's been performing that, I doubt he's had a backing like that. 31,000 Wales fans singing along to Amar Ohid. Even the Ukrainian fans in front of us joining in and dancing with that one. Well, look, unlike the Jubilee celebrations, we don't have Diana Ross to headline the preview part of our show, but we do have one last dance before the teams come out very, very shortly. A dance that's been 64 years in the making. We've had the Euros twice. Now, what about the World Cup? It's time. High time.
Live football on BBC Radio Wales Sport.
Memories to last a lifetime. You've given us joy. You've given us France.
Cross in for Vokes! It's 3-1! Sam Vokes heads Wales into the Euro 2016 semi-final!
And now the time has come to give our country one last dance.
Bale shoots! Yes. Bale scores! The captain has a hat-trick and he's rescued Wales again!
Gareth, Aaron, Joe, we may never see your like again. You're written in our history. You are legends, not just men.
The pride we feel in this team is a credit to you all. And now you'll be roared on once again by your adoring Red Wall.
Passion, spirit, and togetherness.
Many have been on this journey. Chris, Wayne and Ben. You've all grown up together. We've seen boys turn into men.
Nico Williams. Williams into the penalty area. Shoots right footed.
He scored! It's a second for Wales!
When will the story end? No one really knows. We want it to be forever. For you all to never grow old.
We are living in a golden age of Welsh football.
But if it has to finish somewhere, maybe the World Cup in Qatar. In many ways, it feels like it's just written in the stars.
Whatever the future holds, you leave the shirt in a better place. And in our hearts, you already have a very special space.
Wales are through to the World Cup playoff final in June. Forget the summer holidays. Your country needs you.
The future is looking bright and we have much to give us hope. You've played your part in ensuring that our spirit never grows.
Don't underestimate the character of a Welshman.
Together, Stronger lives on and the national team will advance. But now it's time to go out and give us all just one last dance.
The FIFA World Cup playoff final.
Wales versus Ukraine.
Well, it could mean everything or it could mean nothing, but there's never been a night like this for Welsh football. There's never been a night like this for Ukrainian football. Just listen to the atmosphere here inside Cardiff City Stadium as Zombie Nation plays over the loudspeaker. There's a Welsh flag out on the left of the halfway line. There's a Ukrainian flag on the right of the halfway line. In between the two of them, there's a banner that simply reads peace. And then there are about 22 school children in red Welsh jerseys stood waiting for the arrival of the two sets of players on a momentous night here in the Welsh capital. It might be raining, but no one cares because this could be the night when Wales reach their first World Cup in 64 years, and it could be the night that the Ukrainian national football team send out a powerful message of defiance and hope and optimism despite everything that's going on in their country right now. The players are standing by to take to the field. Our commentary team standing by to commentate on this huge night for Welsh football. You are listening to BBC Radio Wales, wherever you are across the country, in Wales, in the UK. Thank you for being with us. Nathan Blake and Natasha Harding in 10 seconds. How do you feel it's going to go? Natasha, first of all, give us a prediction for the big game.
Football, Ukraine is going to be, I think it's going to be a really tough game. I think Ukraine showed also
this evening as the teams come out of the tunnel here at the Cardiff City Stadium. You can't hear me, no one can hear me, the noise is deafening as Gareth Bale, the Wales captain, maybe for the last time, who knows, leads Wales out onto the field, takes a swig of his drink and then chucks a little bit of water over his head. What a night for him, the man who scored twice against Austria in March to set up this huge evening in June as Wales face Ukraine, and the Ukrainian players come out wearing flags like capes on their backs. Yellow and blue flags for those Ukrainian footballers. It means so much to them, it means so much to Wales, and it is time to get the national anthems, starting first of all with Ukraine on a hugely emotional evening. Imagine the emotion, what they must have been feeling, those Ukrainian players and the supporters, 2,000 of them inside the Cardiff City Stadium. And now raise the roof one last time. Hein Gwlad fy nhadau.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Cymru, the Red Wall. Tonight, now is our time.
Tonight in the Welsh capital, one win from a place at the 2022 World Cup. Will it be Ukraine or will it be Wales? You are listening to BBC Radio Wales and your commentary team for a game like no other. The former Wales striker Nathan Blake, the current Wales forward Natasha Harding is alongside our match commentator Rob Phillips.
Well, I've been reporting on Welsh football for 30 odd years and I cannot remember ever an atmosphere quite like the one generated here, because these fans know so much is at stake. 74 days they've had to wait and wonder who they would meet for the last European qualifying place for November's World Cup in Qatar. Well, now we know it is Ukraine. So the Wales side looking to make history to qualify for the first time since 1958 is Wayne Hennessy in goal. Across the back, Ethan Ampadu, Joe Roden and Ben Davis. Conor Robertson, Nico Williams, the wing backs. Aaron Ramsey, Joe Allen, Dan James in midfield. Up front, Kiefer Moore and the captain Gareth Bale. Ukraine are unchanged from the side that beat Scotland in midweek. Bushyan in goal, Karavayev, Sabani, Matvienko and Mikalenko, with Stepanenko the holding player, the captain Andrei Yarmolenko, Malinovsky, Andrei Alexander Zinchenko of Manchester City, Shankov, and up front Yaramchuk of Benfica. 6 players based in the Ukraine who have not had a club program since December. The referee, the man in the middle, Antonio Mateo Lahoz of Spain, well known if you watch La Liga football. Just coming across to the sidelines now is the referee, and he's walking back to the centre circle purposefully with match ball in hand. The two sides are in their huddles. Wales to my left at the Canton end, Ukraine all in blue to our right. As Wales split, the roar reaches a crescendo. Gareth Bale looks purposeful. Kiefer Moore just jogs up and down, lifting one knee then the other, and it will be Ukraine, everybody's second favourite country in this competition, to kick off, playing from right to left. The two sides take the knee. No room for discrimination in our glorious game, and this is one glorious occasion. This is the World Cup playoff final. This is a match where World Cup disappointment could be written into Welsh football history, and we are underway as Rob Page's men look to book a place in Qatar. And they will have been revved up by some extraordinary atmosphere, but it's Ukraine who start well here. Cross into the Wales penalty area, Aaron Ramsey clears it away, picked up by Stepanenko, wide to Yarmolenko, the captain, on that far side, the Ukraine right. Now it's back with the backs. This is Zibriani to Matvienko, who's at Shakhtar, and then the easily recognisable Zinchenko, the Manchester City player, plays left back for his club, midfield for his country. I'm alongside Nathan Blake and Tash Harding. What an atmosphere. I mean, we keep talking about it, but it is quite extraordinary.
Yeah, it just gets bigger with every game, doesn't it, Rob? Here for the Austria game, that was some atmosphere, but the build up the day, you know, from 11 o'clock we've been here since, and you just feel the anticipation in the air with the fans walking around the stadium, and bit by bit it's just grown to a crescendo. It's an absolutely fantastic atmosphere.
And no less than Ukraine would have expected, and they're supported by some 1,800 on the far side as Zinchenko picks up a position on the edge of the Wales penalty area. Joe Roden clears the ball away, but they can't get it away far. The visitors have started well here. Little slip on the sodden turf, and Joe Allen, well, he's robbed as he tried to get away with it and then won it back. Strong challenge right in front of the referee. Oh, and Joe Allen has got an early yellow card. Tash Harding.
I just think that was a nervous touch and decision by Joe Allen. Normally when he picks up the ball in those areas, when he's breaking up play, and that's what he's really good at. He's sitting in front of the 18-yard box. We didn't expect Joe to keep the ball there, but it looked like a nervous situation for him. And then, we always knew he was going to dive in for the next challenge, wouldn't he? And I think, it was a yellow card probably deserving.
So he's been booked within 2 minutes.
They took an early free kick.
The referee, the ball is in the net, but the referee wasn't ready to take the free kick for it to be taken. He's having a word with Alexander Stepanenko now. Nathan Blake.
Yeah, I think he's just taking the free kick early, basically when no one's ready, and he's not giving the whistle. So old school rule, have to play to the whistle, Rob. Just liven Wales up though, just keep them on their toes.
It will be Malinovsky.
I mean, he's lining up like he's going to shoot, and if he does, Rob, it kind of what I believe is throw caution to the wind from Ukraine.
Well, he's got
the Scotland game and today.
6 goals for his country, the player based in Atalanta as Serie A. He steps up, he hits it left-footed, and an easy save. Well, a skidding save for Wayne Hennessy, you have to say, who was kneeling down to collect, and throws out into space for Connor Roberts. Now Wales look to get the ball forward. First touch in midfield for James. Brings in Ramsey, charging through. Ramsey breaks through one challenge. Nico Williams lofts the ball into the penalty area, but hits it too strong.
Yeah, they just need to calm down, Wales. I know it's difficult. Ukraine have started the better of the two teams, but in that situation there, out to Nico Williams, you expect better quality from him. He's on the left-hand side. He's just fed the ball in first time, expecting big Kiefer to be at the far post, but he'd made the run inside. So just like to see him keep it there and, work their way into the goal rather than try and get it their first ball.
Misplaced pass from Matvienko, but also misplaced header from Nico Williams. They slide the ball into midfield, but it's cut out by Ben Davis. Lovely turn by Kiefer Moore. Sends Williams away down the left-hand side. Wales on the attack, getting players forward into the box. Looking for Moore, didn't quite get to him. Williams hasn't given up on it. Wins it back inside the penalty area. Just nodded away from him. Joe Allen thought about challenging, but he's just been booked. So Wales keep possession though with Ethan Ampadu coming through the centre circle. First touch for Gareth Bale. Bale plays the ball out on the deck to Nico Williams. Right-footed cross into the middle. Connor Roberts comes in from the near side. May break the Bale on the edge of the box. Just nicked away from him. Wales keep the pressure on. Ben Davis hits it. Takes a deflection. Wales get the first corner.
Yeah, really good play. Brilliant play.
Early crosses, Blakey, what are we saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to create panic, right? Tash, I think the difference in the Scotland game was Ukraine started well. In the first 10-15 minutes, Scotland couldn't get near them. The distances were all over the place. But today, Wales 2 minutes in, and now they've started.
5 minutes gone. Radio Wales Sport. What a day at Cardiff City Stadium. What a tea time. World Cup playoff action. And it's fast and frenetic in the opening minutes. It's a corner coming in from the left-hand side. It's curled into the middle. The goalkeeper punched it, just came out for it. He's seen as a bit of a weakness, Bushchan. Now Connor Roberts plays the ball back into the box, headed out wide to the left-hand side. Dan James has stayed out there, having taken the corner, takes on his man, gets to the byline, cross into the middle. Bale turns, then he takes control, moves to the byline, just runs it out for a goal kick.
I think the Wales have identified the goalkeeper's aerial weaknesses, and that's what they're trying to do, aren't they? That's how Scotland scored their goal. Keeper comes out, doesn't really clear it, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put the goalkeeper and the back two under pressure very fast, and it's working right now.
Yeah, Bushchan was really dodgy against Scotland. He looked so rusty and very, very nervous. So this crowd, the hostility right beyond the goal, pressure on him. And like I said, there's a moment there, Wales just keep putting the ball into the box, and there's an easier header away for Ukraine, but it keeps falling to a Welsh shirt, and they keep recycling the ball, Rob, and creating panic in that Ukraine defence, and that's exactly what you need to do this early on in the game.
James Bundle-Nova, referee says Wales have got possession, allows play to go on. Ramsey to Allen. Davis of Spurs. Williams is hogging that left-hand touchline in front of the Ninian stand, packed with red shirts and
This is good from Wales.
Yeah, now
keeping the ball.
That's right.
You have to do.
Play at the tempo, keep the ball when you can, Tash. You know, you're going to have to run the legs off this team and also pass the legs off them. So come 60, 70 minutes, they definitely start to tire.
Bale again, flights the ball out to the left-hand side, picked up by Nico Williams. Williams holds off Yarmolenko, goes around the West Ham player. Williams shoots low, and the goalkeeper always knew he was going wide, but dived anyway.
Yeah, but you just want to pepper him, right, Rob? You want to put shots on him, corners on him, free kicks, everything. All the attacks, it's all Wales at the moment, all the momentums with Wales. You want to keep that on. Like I said, you just create havoc and create panic in the defence. And with these wet conditions, it's only going to take a slight mistake.
Ukraine build from the back again, but hit it long onto the head of Roden. Ramsey collects, can't control it though. And now Wales have to get back into a defensive position. Yarmolenko. And it's a long range shot which Hennessy has to palm away, and that time it was Viktor Shankov of Dynamo Kiev. He's got 6 goals for his country as well. So Ukraine respond to the Wales corner with one of their own. 8 minutes gone goalless at the Cardiff City Stadium.
Yeah, one thing I noticed against Scotland, Rob, was the rotation in the Ukrainian team. Very good. Zigankov right there, keeps tucking inside, usually the wide man. Zinchenko will rotate into midfield, central midfield, left back.
They're not packing the area with blue shirts. They've taken it short. Now the ball is floated into the middle. Hennessy had to touch it away. And Tony Roberts, the Wales goalkeeping coach, who I think is responsible for set pieces, just points to his eyes and says, look, keep an eye on these things.
Looked like it took a deflection, Rob.
Yeah.
It
did.
Hennessy's done well there at full stretch.
Shankov and Zinchenko are across on this near side. The Ukraine left to take a short corner. Zinchenko just touches it to Shankov into the middle of the 6-yard box, headed out by Wales. Bale goes tumbling, no foul according to the referee. I suspect they're exchanging Spanish words. Despite what some fans say in Madrid, he does speak Spanish.
Thanks to Duolingo.
Yeah. Tash Harding.
I think we've just lost the line, unfortunately, to Rob and Natasha and Nathan here on BBC Radio Wales. We're going to get that back as soon as we possibly can. 10 minutes gone nearly then here at the Cardiff City Stadium. It is goalless between Wales and Ukraine in this World Cup playoff final. You can hear the noise, just how much noise the Ukrainian fans are making over in that far corner, and the Wales fans as well. It has calmed down slightly from what it was for the first sort of 8 or 9 minutes of the game. What a frantic start to the match. But wherever you are across Wales, hope you're enjoying it so far. We're here all the way through until 8:30 this evening, taking your calls after the game on Call Rob, and texts and tweets as well. So whatever happens in this match, you will be able to react and hopefully celebrate Wales getting a place at the World Cup for the first time since 1958. Ukraine have the ball at the moment inside their own half, over the halfway line, as they try and make inroads into that Wales half. Joe Allen tries to make a tackle, doesn't get his foot in there though, and it goes out to the right hand side. The cross comes in, takes a deflection, maybe an opportunity here inside the D for Ukraine, but Aaron Ramsey is there to clear up and then lays it square for Connor Roberts, who then chips it forward looking for a red shirt, but he gives the ball back to a Ukrainian player and all the way back to their goalkeeper, and they'll build from the back once again. Wales 0, Ukraine 0, still trying to re-establish the line to Rob Phillips, so apologies for the technical issues here as the rain continues to come down. Stepanenko on the ball for Ukraine at the moment, out to their right hand side, forward now, and they're onside, they're inside the Wales penalty area, saved by Wayne Hennessy, and drops the ball but gets it at the second attempt on the edge of the 6-yard box. And that was a real scare for Wales, because they broke down the right hand side, the cross came in, Wales maybe thinking it was an offside, but it It wasn't. No flag went up, and Wayne Hennessy needed 2 attempts to get that ball. But a real worry there for Wales supporters with nearly 12 minutes gone here at the Cardiff City Stadium. That's my bit of amateur commentary over with. Let's hand you back. We've got the connection re-established to Rob Phillips.
Well, if you'd had a Ukraine goal, you would have been in the doghouse then, Ian Hunt. Oh, and Rodon is sloppy then, and he almost gave it away inside his own penalty area to Zinchenko of Manchester City. We're having 1 or 2 technical problems, so please forgive us. But you've missed nothing. It's goalless after 12 minutes as Alexander Petrakov, the veteran coach of Ukraine, strides his technical area in the rain at the Cardiff City Stadium. Hennessy preferred to Danny Ward. Plays the ball forward. Roberts gets a touch, picked up by Zinchenko. Out to Mikalenko of Everton. And ball was hammered forward by Stepanenko, so Wales have won it back. Rodon says to leave it. No, Allen doesn't though, takes responsibility. And it's 0-0. Rodon again, just inside the Wales half. Ampadu fires it over the top, too strong for Kiefer Moore, who pats his chest and said, that's where I wanted it, on my chest. The Ukraine fans in the far corner bouncing up and down, the blue and yellow of Ukraine, joined by the fans in front of us. What an atmosphere, what an occasion for them. I saw 1 or 2 of them, obviously Welsh based, joining in with Hilav and Hanai as well. And at the moment their side are performing well. It's 0-0 and they've probably had the better chance. So ball is out to the far side. Williams heads it away. Will it go up for a throw-in? No, it will go up for a throw-in. 0-0. And I'm alongside Nathan Blake and Tash Harding. They've been warned, Tash.
Yeah, I think Wales, we knew that they have to be defensively strong. If they lose the ball, they have to get quick into shape, in defensive shape as quick as they can. And right now, I think Ukraine are doing a quicker job than what Wales are getting into the defensive shape. So they have had some warnings. They've just got to be a bit better when they retain the ball. They've got to use Kiefer Moore. He's there for a focal point for a reason, as a release pass.
Yeah. He hasn't had so much of the ball yet. Joe Allen has been booked. Now Williams across to Connor Roberts, right hand side, 5 yards in front of the Ukraine penalty area. In the box is Bale, has to come out, lays it on for Roberts. Roberts thinks about crossing left footed, goes deep though to Rodon. Every Wales player bar Hennessy in the Ukraine half. The red shirts moving forward from left to right towards the Grange end, the family end at the Cardiff City Stadium. Ampadu trots forward, Allen helps it left to Ben Davis, 2 of the veterans in the side, both on their 71st caps today. Williams skips inside one challenge, picked up by Dan James, 15 yards from the Ukraine penalty area. Ukraine are all back, every blue shirt is back. Roberts and Allen exchange passes. Bale has hogged this near touchline. He's been forced away by Mikalenko and then turns away from the Everton player. Drives forward. Bale, Ramsey, Roberts into Ramsey. Tight pass that one. But Ramsey holds on to it, then turns away. Runs into Zinchenko. Petrakov, the Ukraine coach, calling his side forward, but they can't get out at the moment as Wales hold possession. They're not going forward, but they're keeping the ball away from Ukraine. And then Bale tries to squirt a pass out to that left-hand side, but it's intercepted by Karavayev, who had his birthday on the weekend. Strong work by Rodon as Yamachuk tried to break away, and then he picks out Williams on pace and driving down the left hand side forward to James. can he cross? Puts it onto his right foot. Now he thinks about playing it in, turns the other way, still going down. James wins the corner. 0-0, 17 minutes gone.
Yes, well played by Dan James. Really good play by Wales, recycling the ball well, Rob. I would say though, Kiefer Moore just needs to be patient at that far stick. He's free often. He's pulling onto that far man, onto Karavayev. Just needs to be patient. His chance will come.
Goalless. James takes the corner short to Ramsey, plays it out to Williams. Williams into the middle, goalkeeper comes for it. Oh, he parried it, and somehow the referee's flag has gone up, and the goalkeeper Bushan has gone to ground holding his foot. Tash Harding,
yeah, I think
what happened to him?
I think luckily for the goalkeeper, Joe Roden was offside. But what Wales are trying to do, they're taking a short corner to encourage Ukraine to come out. So then they'll whip the ball in second phase, and that's what they're trying to do. They're allowing the space for the goalkeeper, encouraging him to come out because they know it's not his strongest point, and that's what is happening. And you know, Joe Roden just got to stay on side a little bit longer, and I think he would have probably had a chance on goal then.
That punch could have gone anywhere, Nathan Blake.
We've seen it against Scotland, Rob. It's been noted. We spoke about it before the game, and he hasn't let us down so far. So if you're Wales, just keep doing what you're doing. And like I said, if you keep them more, keep patient and stay at that far stick. Unless it's obvious you need to get across your man across that near post.
Preferred to Harry Wilson, who started against Austria, of course, in the semi-final here 74 days ago.
Yeah, what happens, Rob, often if you're a striker in that situation, you get frustrated because you're not in the game. He hasn't had many touches or any opportunities or anything, and I guarantee the time you get across is the time it'll end up at the fast stick, and you'll be kicking yourself thinking, stay patient, and I got a great opportunity.
Ampadu sees a bit of space to drive through the centre circle, then plays a lovely ball out to Nico Williams. I think it just skipped away from him. Well, he managed to keep it from going out for a goal kick, which means that Ukraine, in the shape of Alexander Karavayev, will have to take a throw-in from near his own corner flag. Rob Page looks absolutely soaked, and Kit Simons has got his hood up.
Yeah, I think a big difference, Rob, in this game in comparison to the Scotland game. The very first tackle, Scotland were missing often. Their distances were all wrong in that game, and every time they go to close down a Ukrainian player, he was able to either play around him 1 or 2 touch or take him on. Once he takes him on, that exposes everybody because people have to move out the position. So it's really important that Wales on first contact get something on that ball, whether it's a tackle or a slight professional foul. Whatever they do, they can't allow the Ukrainians to build, go past people and pull people around out of position.
Yeah, but that's what we were saying about Scotland. They like to press, but they were just always late to the press. And with Ukraine, they do keep the ball. They have got very good players, and we're always seeing when Ukraine have got the ball in their back 4 or back 5, deep in their own half, Nico Williams and Connor Roberts are releasing really fast and really high, so it's putting a lot of pressure. Their only option then is to go long, so that's what Wales want. They have to play into their hands.
We started again goalless in this World Cup playoff final.
It's why Scotland changed system, Dash, in that game, because their distances were wrong right from the get-go, which meant they could never get a foothold in the game or press the ball as they wished. But today, Wales have started totally different. It's not so much the shape, it's who carries out that shape better, which team is going to enforce it upon the other. And at the moment, we've got probably Wales slightly 60-40 in this game.
Yeah, definitely agree with all.
More heads on, stepped in ahead of Stepanenko. Bale shoots from distance. Oh, sort of the left foot, Gareth. That's a few yards over the top. He looks absolutely disgusted that he missed from 40 yards.
Or not even hit the target or got it anywhere near the target. I've never seen him hit one from that distance. And if you look at the ball, it was back spinning, so he's kind of got underneath it and scooped it. He didn't get the ping on it he wanted. That's when then once he hits and he wants it to move in the air.
Bushan looks at Yarmolenko, wrist nicked off him by Nico Williams, and Aaron Ramsey touches into Allen. They're under pressure all the time, but they're managing to find their men at the moment. Now Connor Roberts goes to the haven of Joe Roden at the heart of the Wales defence, and he's overhit it. Good header by the man in the crowd there.
Yeah, but I would exercise patience. That's what Rob Page would be saying. Those are the times, right, on this slick pitch, you just keep passing it around the back, even if you're not in your own half, because what it does is ties out the opposition, especially late on in the second half.
You can see Aaron Ramsey then telling him just to calm down, recycle the ball, use your space centre half that you've got, and that's what he's asking him to do.
It's where the experienced players come in, isn't it, just to calm them down a bit.
We're all like our Rob.
Tash Harding, I've seen you.
No, me never.
On the nerves, everybody. Yeah, thought so. But hey, nobody said it was going to be easy. Yarmolenko onto a loose ball. Zinchenko wide. Low ball across the box. May break for Yarmolenko. No, it doesn't. It was a stabbed shot by Karavayev, who was forward from the back, and it deflected and ballooned up for Wayne Hennessy. Mikalenko ensures Gareth Bale can't send Dan James herring away down that left-hand side on the counter. They do look dangerous, you have to say.
They do, but do you know that ball from Wayne Hennessy then, when he rolls it out really fast in the centre of the pitch, he's done that twice now, and Wales have got either in Ukraine's half or they've got something out of it, whether that be a throw-in or a corner. That looks like another tactic of Rob Page is trying to instill in this game, is trying to play quick when Ukraine are attacking.
Amourahid started up again by the red wall. It was a hugely emotional rendition of it, led by David Ewan before kick-up. It's a skied clearance by Sergei Bushkan. Good challenge by Roden in midfield. Yaramchuk felt the force of Joe Roden, then gets the crowd going as well. Wales have possession inside their own half. Ethan Ampadu, later Venezia. It didn't rain like this in Venice too often, although there's plenty of water in the streets. Bale, little touch to Allen. Allen sends Ramsey away down the right hand side. Mikalenko struggling to get there. Cross into the box, just beyond Dan James, just beyond Kiefer Moore, and Karavayev hits the ball out for a throw-in.
That's the moment I'm talking about, Rob, right? He just switches off in midfield because it hasn't been coming to him. Kiefer Moore now, he's deep, and then what he does, he starts to make his way to the back post, but he doesn't go full tilt. And the one time we want him to go full tilt, the ball goes right across the face of the 6-yard box.
It was there for him then, wasn't it?
Yes, if he opens his leg.
He had to commit, and he just didn't. And Blakey, you do know what you're talking about, obviously.
Oh, don't tell him that, Tash, don't tell him that. He's learning all the time. Still, Roberts. If he'd fallen over, I think he might have got a free kick then. He's asking the linesman and asking him again. He's not going to get it. I don't think Connor Roberts' Spanish is anywhere near as good as Gareth Bale's. And the referee, Mateo Lahoz, comes across to have a word with Connor Roberts for complaining. He has ref since 2008. He refed in the 2018 World Cup finals, and he also refereed Manchester City against Chelsea in the Champions League final last year. There's a very enthusiastic Ukraine fan holding the flag up right in front of us, so I didn't see Zinchenko go to ground there, but he did win a free kick, and looks like Aaron Ramsey was the aggressor. And Ian Hunt has very tactfully said, can you please sit down? It could have been others. So he's got away as Ian Hunt. He's a charmer. He's charmed the lady down. 0-0. BBC Radio Wales Sport. 25 minutes. That was a lunging challenge by Ramsey. Zinchenko tries to get them going forward again.
Yeah, the two centre-halves for Wales just need to be careful, because Yaremchuk, just really good timing coming off whether it's Roden or Davis coming into play and just laying balls off just like this now. And then they start to play from there, create triangles in their way.
Zinchenko will shoot from distance. It deflected off Ethan Ampadu, and I think it's winded him because he's collapsed to the ground. Not quite as dramatic as the man who Joe Cordina fought last night for the world title.
That's because Ethan didn't face one of those right hands from
Joe. It was some punch, wasn't it? I'm hearing he's here today, Joe Cordina, Wales' 13th world champion in boxing, and congratulations to him. He's a big football fan, and he wouldn't have missed this for anything.
Congratulations to Tony Borg as well, my old mate, one of his trainers.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
0-0 here though, World Cup action. Remember, it could be extra time and penalties, but I won't mention that again for a while, you two, okay?
Well, just don't, Rob.
Yeah, will you bring it up again?
Yeah,
probably get
don't will it in.
You probably get extra money, don't worry about it.
I don't need extra money, I just need a result, thanks. 90 minutes, thank you.
So, Wales in their defensive mode. Zinchenko is a left back from Manchester City, Nathan Blake, but he really is a creator for Ukraine, isn't he? He makes them tick.
Well, he's playing in that De Bruyne role on this left-hand side. Like I said earlier, he goes into central midfield. That's where he starts. He pulls wide. He pulls deep into the left-back spot. He's over there on the right-hand side. He really creates a lot of movement, a lot of rotation for his team.
Ball tried to be slid in behind the Welsh defence, but Roden got there, and Kiefer Moore headed the clearance down for Bale, who tried a first-time ball out to Dan James, who was in space, but Karavayev was attentive. Zinchenko fires the ball forward, and I can tell you, if you're a Wrexham fan listening, Grimsby have just taken the lead in extra time in the playoff final against Solihull Moors. It's 2-1.
Let's keep the focus here, Rob, eh?
And it's 0-0 here. Little touch by Moore, but Bale was never going to get there. He's just going to hold it up.
He's got to back in there. He's just got to stop. Even if he stops, takes a contact in the back and goes over. He's got to be prepared to bring people into play. He hasn't started well.
That's what I think Gareth Bale was trying to say to him. You need to hold it up. You can't just play off one touch constantly, and that's you know, they need sometimes to just keep them more, to just take more than one touch. It allows everyone else to get up the pitch and allow someone else to join in with him. Because right now he's taking one touch all the time, and they're just losing the ball again.
Well, Yaremchuk again.
Now Wales are waiting for an offside flag to go. It's not given, and now the flag goes up. Now the flag goes up. It's such a frustrating wait, and Shankov was away then, the Dynamo Kiev midfield player who was actually born in Israel, but he wasted that, but it would have been offside anyway. But you just don't know, do you?
That's why you have to carry on. That's why they do it, because you just got to keep going, and if he scores, you know, no one, you know, anything can happen. But you know, luckily the flag went up. I think everyone was quite relieved in the stadium.
Alan Nill, the Wales assistant, just walked out to tap on the shoulder Connor Roberts then.
Yeah, that comes from Yaremchuk though, again, right? Tash, he's coming off short. It's a great one-touch ball into him at the right time. The timing is excellent between the midfielders and wide players, defenders, playing into the centre forward. He's not always available, but when he is, they always seem to break.
Mix up between Allen and Ramsey. Malinovsky drives forward. Yarmolenko's in space on that far side. Now they place the ball into the middle, and it's headed away. Wales are living dangerously then, picked up by Karavayev, wide on the right hand side for Ukraine. Zinchenko tries to turn away from Dan James, and James just managed to get a touch, and Wales should try and play it away now. Allen goes to ground, no foul. Zinchenko carries on. Hennessy makes a good save. That was the best chance so far, and it fell to Alexander Zinchenko.
I love Joe Allen, guys, right, but right now he does look very nervous. Every time he's getting the ball, he's either taking too many touches or he's taking too long to release the pass, and that's what's happening again. It happened early in the first half. It's happened again one more time.
Well, Talsh, you said before the game is exactly what the Ukrainians done to Scotland, right? They're excellent. They got so many men in that central of midfield. You know, Wales have to get it and spread it. That's where the joy is for Wales.
Zinchenko moves forward, threatening the inside left position. He's up against Ramsey, then goes back to Stepanenko.
As soon as Ukraine lose it, they're really fast to try and get around the ball to win it back.
Chance here as well. Hennessy comes out and does just enough, and again it was Shankov who was going in. He's the spare man all the time, and he's up alongside Yaremchuk, quick as a flash.
Yeah, it's a great ball again. That striker Yaremchuk, a lovely little ball round the corner. And these wide players, Rob, we said they rotate. You know, they keep getting central. You know, that's another opportunity. Straight down the middle. Timings are brilliant. The timing of their runs off the striker, excellent.
Corner to Ukraine from the right hand side, 0-0, but Wales are under the cosh here. Zinchenko lays it back, driven in, low, cleared off by Kiefer Moore, who's stooping down. Now the ball's played forward. Mikalenko took out Dan James then with the elbow, well off the ball. Referee saw it, linesman didn't flag. The Welsh bench were up because it was right in front of them, and Everton's Vitaly Mikalenko is in the book, the second player to be booked alongside Joe Allen. And that could cost him dearly.
That was a nasty one as well.
That was. No doubt about that, though. Nobody argued. Mikalenko certainly couldn't argue. Yellow card for him. They'll take the free kick from in their own half. Moore just nudged off the flighted ball. Yarmolenko tries to help it forward, but almost crashes into the Ninian stand. Yarmolenko scored the last time Wales played Ukraine. That was in 2016 in a build-up to the Euro 2016 campaign. They went to Kiev, they lost 1-0. Tom Bradshaw made his debut that day. And this is the third World Cup meeting between the sides, and Wales have yet to win one. Now is a good time. Ampadu switches play, looking for Nico Williams. The header finds keeper Moore. Moore turns, drives the ball in low. Cleared away though by Matvienko of Shakhtar Donetsk. And then there's something off the ball again. Now what's the referee going to do here?
I don't think he's going to book him, Rob.
Stepanenko. It was, Malinovsky. Dan James was the fouled. Well,
just too quick
just
for him,
a bit quick for him, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, and then the ball is
kicked in his face.
Stepanenko kicked the ball in his face, just for good measure. So now this free kick is 8 yards away from the right corner of the penalty area, just in a bit from that, maybe 7 yards. And guess who's over it? Harry Wilson's on the bench. The captain, Gareth Bale, stands over this free kick. Can he deliver again? Bale steps up over the wall. Oh yes! Gareth Bale, a man on a World Cup mission, has done it again for Wales. He's put them within sight of Qatar with a left-footed beauty over the wall. And honestly, there is nothing this man cannot do for his country. It's Wales 1, Ukraine 0.
How people doubt this man, I will never ever know. Why people keep saying, is he going to retire? Is this going to be his last game? This man produces at the highest level on a consistent basis. Everyone knew around this ground it was going to go in. Everyone. Apart from the goalkeeper, obviously. But what a fantastic,
he's actually got no right to score from that angle. And it takes I think it's Lomachenko. He dives at it. Yeah, and it takes a slight deflection of Lomachenko's head, and he's absolutely devastated, the boy. But Yarmolenko has absolutely, he's killed his goalkeeper in trying to do the right thing, Rob. But from the angle he was at on the left-hand side, he shouldn't be scoring from there. But you do think in these conditions, an intelligent player as Bale is, try and dip it before the goalkeeper, which is what I think he was attempting to do. But like I said, Yarmolenko just got across it, and just a slight deflection, it ends up in the bottom corner.
It'll go down, I'm sure, as Gareth Bale's 39th goal for his country, and never has he scored a more important goal. Wales are in sight of Qatar. They lead 1-0. Mind you, there's an awful long way to go, but they've got their noses in front, courtesy of that man Gareth Bale. His whole raison d'etre, you felt, for the last few months, maybe for the last 2 seasons, is to be ready to take Wales to their first World Cup since 1958, and he's put them on the road again in front of an ecstatic Cardiff City Stadium. Now they have to be wary. What do they always say? Even in World Cup games, you're most vulnerable after you've just scored. Stepanenko. And here's Malinovsky, who gave away the free kick, but he's ruining that now.
Yeah, if you're Wales now, just keep a good shape, Rob. Next 5 minutes. Yes, Ukraine are going to try and step on it, try and press it a bit, try and get back that goal as soon as possible, as you said. Just like a boxer who gets clipped, first thing he tries to do is come after and get the point back. If you're Wales now, Just sit in a bit deeper. Soak up the pressure.
Kiefer Moore, the two number 13s battling. Kiefer Moore against Sabani. And it's a throw-in. That was all earned by Kiefer Moore.
He did well then to get the throw in, because when Nico Williams had the ball, he should have been onside first, but he was too slow to react, and then he couldn't get to the first pass, and he did well then to react, to try and win something, and that's what we need from him. If he can't get the ball to his feet and he can't get in the game, try and win something up higher at the pitch so we can create something a bit more.
Well, it's great because it just changes the momentum. You know, Wales were prepared to sit in for 2 or 3 minutes, soak up the pressure. Now they've got control of the ball, and they're putting pressure on the Ukraine defence.
Good challenge though by Matvienko to rob Gareth Bale. Lunging attempted a stoppage by Ramsey, but Wales got possession, and Dan James helps it left, but just missed kick. Allen steps in, Allen goes to ground. Now hang on, it's Malinovsky again. Referee knows that, I think, who's just been booked. Malinovsky.
That's why he's walking away.
He is. No arguments there.
Yeah, he's walking towards the Welsh fans, just hoping he doesn't hear a whistle and look at the ref and see the ref gazing at him.
Now Yarmolenko is being credited with an own goal.
Yeah, it had to be, Rob. It had to be. For me, I've got it down on my sheet. OG. But the point still
Bale
remains.
is on the free kick again. This time it's about 45 yards out. Surely not.
No, Rob. This is going for the fast.
He did against England in the Euros.
No.
He looks for Joe Rodon. Rodon just beaten to it. And he thought it was a goal kick, but the linesman on this side thought it was a corner. So, listen, we can quibble about it later, but it's Gareth Bale's free kick which has put Wales ahead in this World Cup playoff final. And now we ask, what have Ukraine got about them, given everything that's happened?
Well, again,
given the fact that they've only played one competitive game and 3 friendlies this year.
It's not about Ukraine, Rob. It's about Wales. It's about what Wales can do. And now you go and step up the pressure, keep it going, keep doing what you've been doing this last 40-odd minutes, and don't give nothing away. Keep the ball when need be, spread it wide when need be, take a bit of pressure out of the game when need be.
Oh, James has seen off Malinovsky with a burst of pace, still going inside left.
He's trying to buy that free kick and the ref's not gone from it.
Sabani, but James is left to get to his feet as Ukraine go forward with Zinchenko wide to Karaneyev into the middle. Allen cuts it out. The Welsh pillow robbed by Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko goes to ground. Zinchenko shoots. Hennessy just smuggles it away at his near post.
So Allen again, he can't have that much time in the box. He has to understand that, and he knows Ukraine are going to press the ball. Once they lose the ball, they press it really, really fast within 2 seconds.
Oh, wait a minute. Joe Allen brought down.
He's so lucky.
Yarmolenko.
He's so lucky. That's actually on another day. I think you can get a penalty for that one.
Well, I wonder whether there's a VAR check going on.
Let's hope not, Rob.
I think there is. The referee has stopped play.
I think we could be in major trouble here if he comes over to the screen. I don't think the contact was heavy enough for him to go down in the way he did.
Now the referee is striding towards the penalty spot. It's a potential penalty check. VAR goes up on the board.
Yeah.
It's a corner.
Yeah, I think if Joe Allen swings harder at that ball to clear it, rather than thinking he's trying to pass it 10 yards.
Oh no, wait. Now the referee has spotted. The check is over. The corner will go ahead. He's just had a quick word with Yarmolenko. What drama here in this World Cup playoff final. Into the middle, headed away by Nico Williams. Didn't know a lot about it. Ramsey trying to curl it out. I'm asking a serious question here. With 5 minutes to go to half-time, does Rob Page think about swapping Joe Allen at half-time?
No, don't be silly, Rob. He's just...
I'm not being silly.
Well, you are. Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy thing to say. He's a holding midfielder and he's one of the best players. Why would you change him? He's on a yellow card. He's got bags of experience. He knows, don't make any mistakes.
But he almost gave away a penalty.
Well, if you make a mistake, then you get dragged off then.
Tash Harding.
I just think what they'll do now, they'll get in at half-time, they'll show him some clips. This is what's happening, Joe. When they lose the ball centrally, we know Ukraine trying to win the ball back within 3 seconds. He's been a culprit of losing the ball more often than not right now, so they'll probably go in half-time, they'll tell him, Joe, as soon as you get the ball, you have to release it as fast as you can because they're trying to win the ball off you within 3 seconds.
There'll be a lack of match sharpness as well with Joe.
Yeah.
You know, he's at that age where these things do happen, where your mind knows what's happening, but your legs just move a bit slower. And I think, you know, he's probably guilty of that more than anything else. Lack of game time over the last week or so. Just a bit rusty, but believe you me, he'll know from now on. He almost gave away a penalty there, and he'll be thinking to himself, right, 1 touch, 2 touch, clear everything as quickly as I can.
Dan James ran into his man then. Is he going to get a free kick? He says he was blocked off, but I actually think he did run into him. And if he got past him, he was away. Because nobody was going to catch him. He's been really quick. I thought he was really good in
foul
Poland.
Against Dan James, Rob.
Well, Ramsey got a little touch. We've got a little monitor in front of us, and it was Stepanenko. Sorry, it wasn't. It was Karavayev. Who just stood there after James had knocked the ball past him.
Yeah.
But I think Karavayev is going to get the free kick, is he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and the referee, I would say, was trying to say that. I think that Dan James given a little bit of a forearm smash, but the players just stood in his way. I don't understand that one.
So it's a Ukraine free kick, 5 yards inside the Wales half. It's 1-0. Gareth Bale's free kick deflected in by Andrei Yarmolenko. Kiefer Moore hoists the ball away after the Ukraine short free kick.
Yeah, this pitch is making the ball so quick. Just slight mistouches, especially in that central midfield area. Just got to be careful. Both teams are guilty of it.
So even then with Dan James, though, I still think he's fast enough to run around the fella.
Yeah, he tries to buy free kicks, doesn't he?
Yeah,
and he's been done twice for it.
And you know, his last decision on that one, they actually nearly got a penalty. He sometimes, you know, he makes great decisions, but sometimes he does let himself make very bad decisions. You know, he's more than capable enough of getting around him.
Yeah. Ball swung out to Yarmolenko, little chest down, because it's a lovely play by Ben Davis. Managed to squeeze the ball through 2 players to set Nico Williams away. Ramsey just beaten to it though by a pirouetting Zabarnyi. Leaves it to Zinchenko. Zinchenko to Karanayev coming into the Wales penalty area. 21 on his back, puts the ball across. I think Amadou just got a vital touch then to put the ball out for a corner. Shankov was really steaming in and looking threatening to pick up a floated cross.
Yeah, just need to be careful, Rob, that they don't empty that midfield, leave Joe Allen on his own in there. He's up against 2 or 3 there.
My word, it's almost half time already. Time flies so by quick when you're having a ball.
Yep.
Oh, you're nervous, one of them.
Yeah, and you're nervous, you're right. Into the Wales 6-yard box, and it's chested down by an ice cool Connor Roberts, who called himself a pound shop Gareth Bale yesterday when he turned up in place of Gareth Bale for a face-to-face press conference.
Yaremchuk should score there, Rob.
Well, I think
he's missed his header. He's tried to turn his head rather than just let it hit him. He's tried to glance it, turned his head too much.
So we're into added time. Sorry, Tash.
Sorry, I think Kiefer Moore right now, he's not really here or there.
He's in the occasion, Tash, not the game.
I think he just needs to play his game. Over the ball there, he would have bullied that centre half and played the game and played the ball. 2 touches or win a free kick. I think right now the game's bypassing him and he needs to start getting into the game, start taking a few more touches and do what he's very good at, which is bringing others into play.
So Rob Page looking to follow the great Jimmy Murphy by leading a Wales team to the World Cup. Both Rhondda men and proud. Paces his technical area as Roberts wins the ball back for Wales. Bale crosses into the middle. Kiefer Moore waits for it. Just taken away from him by Zabarnyi, who's the tallest of their centre-backs. Comes under Nico Williams on that left-hand side. Prods it back to Ben Davis. Now Davis is decent to these deep crosses, but he takes a few yards. Then into Kiefer Moore. Moore heads it down to nobody in a Welsh shirt. And it's a free kick. Some of the Wales fans think that's half-time.
Yes, they think it is.
It's a free kick inside the Ukraine penalty area. So, about a half a minute to go. Tash Harding, Nathan Blake, thoughts?
summarise, I think Wales have to be careful with, Ukraine are using Yaremchuk to go in to then create third man runs.
Here we go again. Here's Keeper Moore, left edge of the penalty area. Into James floats it and into the hands of Busjan. Didn't really get too much on it, the Leeds player.
Yeah, I think Wales' defensive shape has got to be a bit better, a bit more solid, I think.
So half-time arrives and Wales have their noses in front. It was a Gareth Bale free kick. He may get the goal, but it may be an Andrei Yarmolenko own goal, a deflected header. It's been fast, it's been furious, it's been frenetic, but at the moment it's going Wales' way. Don't start dreaming of Qatar yet. There's an awful long way to go, but at half time it's Wales 1, Ukraine 0.
Putting them through here, but thanks to Gareth Bale and another bit of magic, they are in front. It's gone down as an own goal on the UEFA website, so they're giving that one certainly to Yarmolenko. And what do you point out? Joe Cordina is going to be coming on the field in a few moments' time. Wales' latest world boxing champion, getting ready to come on after his stunning victory last night. He's wearing a red Wales shirt to blend in with all the rest of them here. 31,000 nervous souls. Nathan Blake and Natasha Harding, but what occasion this is, and how nerve-wracking it is, and the pace this game's being played at from first whistle to half-time.
Yeah, we expected it, in fairness, Ian. We know that two teams are going to go at it. There's so much at stake. The weather, the pitch, the surface is greasy. You're going to be tackles. There's going to be people flying in left, right and centre, and that hasn't let us down, really. You say both teams are trying to play at the high tempo. So you say if you're trying to pick a winner after that half, you'd say Wales obviously 1-0 up and the better team, just slightly, because Ukraine, in fairness, have had a few chances, half chances they could have done better with, but thankfully Wales have been able to keep that door locked, and Hennessy's handling has been brilliant.
What's interesting, Tash, is that as soon as Gareth Bale finished celebrating his goal, and in fact while he's coming on the field, should we just acknowledge this man, by the way, Joe Cordina, who walks onto the field over the halfway line, punching the air. Magnificent win last night, wasn't it, for him, as he got that victory. Wales' 13th world champion, stunning Kenichi Ogawa with that second round knockout, stunning victory, and he does the Ayatollah as well, his big Cardiff fan.
Yeah, it's what they call a Tyson blow, where my boys would say, Mike and the big Gypsy King. So absolutely brilliant knockout last night. Great performance from Joe. Lovely to see him at the ground a bit more often.
We're going to hear from him after the news. Little walk out to the field, and now I think he's heading back. He looked a little bit overwhelmed by that, didn't he, Tash? But what I was trying to say was, after Bale had celebrated his goal, it was interesting to see Ben Davies trying to calm everyone down, and the sort of in-game management, Ampadu was doing it, other players were doing it, just calm down. So they're aware themselves of how frantic it's been and how careful they need to be.
Yeah, and I think Blakey's alluded to it, all half. Sometimes some of these players, they're playing within the occasion. You need to zone out to that. This is a game that you have to play, and we can see some little mistakes creeping in from the players of, Joe Allen is slow to the ball, and then you've got Joe Rodon rushing passes. Ramsey's turning around telling him to calm down. I think when they recycle the ball, they keep possession of the ball, that's where Ukraine are leaving gaps. Gareth Bale's picking up a lot of pockets in front of their back line. They don't want to go in with him, and that's what's happening. But if they don't do that, that's where Ukraine hit you on the counter-attack, and right now they're doing quite well at it, and unfortunately for us, they haven't punished us right now.
Wales 1, Ukraine 0, but 45 nerve-shredding minutes to come here on BBC Radio Wales. Rejoin us for the second half after we get the latest news, weather and travel with Lily Hewitson.
Taking a look at the forecast tonight, things will stay cloudy with scattered showers, which of some will be fairly heavy. That yellow weather warning, which is in place across South and Mid Wales, will remain until later on this evening. Looking ahead to tomorrow, central and northern areas of Wales will see more in a way of cloud, but fewer showers than today. The south will see some sunny spells, but there will also be the chance of the odd shower. Now let's get the latest traffic and travel with James.
Thank you, Lily. The M4 eastbound from 48 Hendy and Llanelli to 41 Baglan. Still a little slow in places. It does pick up in between there, though. It's holiday traffic on the move. The rest of the M4 seems to be coping quite nicely. Swansea, Cardiff and Newport city centres are looking a lot clearer than they did earlier on today. The heart of Wales, major routes all flowing nicely, and the A55 certainly looking much clearer than it did a little earlier on. Holiday traffic still on the move, but not in as great a number as it was earlier on today. So for now, that's the latest from BBC Radio Wales Travel.
Official broadcaster
of the FIFA World Cup
Playoff Final
on FM,
digital radio
and on BBC Sounds.
This is BBC Radio Wales.
Time for the news now with me, Lily Hewitson. Of course, it's half-time at the Cardiff City Stadium where Wales are up against Ukraine for a place at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. It's currently 1-0 to Wales following a free kick from Gareth Bale. Stay with us on BBC Radio Wales for full commentary of the game. Elsewhere, the Queen has made an appearance on the balcony of Buckingham Palace at the end of the Jubilee pageant. There was uncertainty about whether the monarch would be seen in public again during the celebrations after she pulled out of other events due to mobility issues. The Queen was greeted by the sound of the crowd singing the national anthem as she appeared alongside her son Prince Charles and grandson Prince William. The pageant drew thousands of people to the Mall outside the palace today.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah, we just saw Bear Grylls, so it's all so wonderful. It's such a privilege to be here. It's amazing. So proud to be British.
It means everything. I love the Queen. I love the royal family. I love England.
We love you so much from every single farthest corner of the earth that you've touched. Because I'm from Belize, and she means so much.
A planned fly-past by the Red Arrows over Buckingham Palace, which was due to have closed the pageant, had to be cancelled because of poor weather conditions. Air passengers have been facing more travel disruption as half-term draws to a close. Gatwick says around 80 flights have been cancelled at their airport today, a total of 52 departures and 30 arrivals. And millions of patients could benefit after Welsh-led research into a new treatment for women with incurable breast cancer found what's being described as astonishing results. The study looked at the impact of giving a new drug in combination to standard hormone therapy. The results, revealed at the world's biggest cancer conference in Chicago over the weekend, showed women who have a common genetic abnormality in their cancers could expect to survive almost twice as long. BBC Radio Wales for an update anytime. Ask your smart speaker to play BBC News for Wales. It's 5 minutes to 6.
Your team for Welsh sport.
This is BBC Radio Wales Sport.
Thank you, Lily. Welcome back to the show. It's Ian Hunt live from Cardiff City Stadium for the big World Cup playoff final where Wales have one foot in Qatar.
And it will be Ukraine, everybody's second favourite country in this competition, to kick off. And this is one glorious occasion. This is the World Cup playoff final. This is a match where World Cup disappointment could be written into Welsh football history. And we are underway. The captain, Gareth Bale, stands over this free kick. Can he deliver again? Bale steps up over the wall. Oh, yes! Gareth Bale, a man on a World Cup mission, has done it again for Wales. He's put them within sight of Qatar.
This is BBC Radio Wales Sport
with Ian Hunt.
Yeah, add that one to the back catalogue. Another moment of brilliance from Gareth Bale, from a free kick to put Wales 1-0 up, although it went down as an own goal against Andrei Yarmolenko, the West Ham player. But the celebrations, as you can imagine, unconfined here at Cardiff City Stadium when that went in. Bale rushing across to the Ninian stand opposite to celebrate wildly. But it's been tight. Ukraine have had their opportunities, and it's still very, very nervy inside the ground. It is Wales 1, Ukraine 0. We'll be back for second half commentary with Nathan Blake, Natasha Harding and Rob Phillips in a moment, but we've got Neil Taylor with us, the Wales international, who's part of the match of
Nathan's
the day. It was the first time you've been called Nathan, is it? I'm sure.
That's my Saturday night name.
Thanks for coming back with us, Neil. What a moment again from Gareth Bale, and we wonder how he managed to score from that angle. Of course, we then sort of worked it out because it did take a big deflection off the head of Yarmolenko, didn't it? But still, the execution. It was another sort of FIFA moment, a FIFA Xbox moment from Bale, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can see the conditions are quite difficult out there. So you would think you'd just hit the target, anything along the floor, bouncing in front of the keeper was going to cause problems, rebounds, anything. And Yarmolenko's just dropped slightly early, tried to get his head on it, and it's a bit of a winger's header, to be honest. He's put it in his own net, and he's obviously devastated. But for us, a familiar Gareth Bale goal, really.
The game itself, it's breathless stuff, isn't it? I mean, the tackles flying in. We've seen that booking for Joe Allen, which has kind of slightly nullified his effect in central midfield. He's got to be careful. Other players have got to be careful. Do they make any changes with that in mind? Because the rain keeps coming on down.
Yeah, I think there will be changes. I think there will be changes, given that the score line at the minute. I think we will need an extra body in midfield. I think that's where we're getting overran. It was always going to be the problem when you play a slight sort of 3-4-3. The midfield's always going to be the problem, and that's where they've got through a couple of times. But the team he's put out has done what it was asked to do, which was attack, create chances. But like you said, it's been a fantastic game to watch. It's been really, really good. But yeah, and also talking about the referee, I think he's been very poor. Actually, I think he's been very poor. I haven't enjoyed the way he's refereed the game and the early bookings and the way he gets the crowd going with his mannerisms. I think Wales have to be very, very careful not to get, like you said, pick up a red card in the second half.
Tash Harding with us was saying maybe some of the players are playing the occasion and not the game itself. Is that fair? Or
yeah, it can be fair. Yeah, and that can happen. You can't stop that happening sometimes. But also, I would say the referee is definitely playing the occasion by booking somebody inside the first minute in what is obviously a heated atmosphere. And then also, you've got to take into account, like I said, the conditions. It has rained a lot. A lot of people are slipping or giving the ball away in certain situations, and even the own goal really comes from the conditions, slipping off his head a little bit, not heading it properly, and going in his own goal. So I think, another good second half to come.
Can't believe it's 6 years since you scored that goal against Russia at the Euros. You know exactly how.
Yeah, thank you.
You know exactly how Gareth Bale felt when that went in, but he's felt it so many times, hasn't he? The captain, and is that the goal via Yarmolenko's head that sends Wales to the World Cup? Thanks, Neil. See you later on Match of the Day Wales. You can relive it all tonight at 10:35 on BBC One Wales. And there's Nations League games going on, of course. We're in the midst of 5 Wales matches in the space of just 13 days. A latest score, Northern Ireland goalless away to Cyprus in Group C2. There are 3 Nations League games coming up for Wales over the next, 7 days, of course. We've got the Netherlands here on Wednesday at the Cardiff City Stadium. Radio Wales Sport will have that one live from 7 o'clock. Another home game on Saturday night against Belgium, and then away to the Netherlands a week on Tuesdays. So goodness knows how those occasions are going to feel after this match tonight, but plenty of football still to be played. Wrexham fans, you might want to tune down for a few moments, because this was the match that you wanted to be in, of course, the National League playoff final. But it's Grimsby who beat Wrexham at the racecourse in the semis, who are back in the Football League at the first attempt. They beat Solihull 2-1 after extra time, and what a bronze medal really for Wrexham's Paul Mullin, because he's been named the National League Player of the Season. We just saw Joe Cordina, who became Wales' 13th world champion last night, out on the pitch at half-time here to get the applause of the Cardiff crowd. He stunned champion Kenichi Ogawa last night with a second-round knockout to take the IBF Super Featherweight title.
Referee Michael Alexander separates the 2 men. Long range once again with the 2 boxers right beneath the ring lights at centre ring. Measuring with the lead left hand, but not letting it go with any force. He has been leveled by a single devastating right cross, and a goal is on the canvas, and he's not going to be the count. He's trying to rise, but he's stumbling like a kid in a playpen, and Joe Cordina has ascended to World Championship status with the best punch of his career.
Yeah, it's amazing. Wales 13th World Champion, Cardiff's 3rd World Champion. I know a lot of people are saying 13 is a lucky number, but if it's got a 3 in it, it's my lucky number. I'm just happy that I've ticked off one of my goals now, which is becoming a world champion, and now it's time to secure my family and potentially unify.
Perfect night for Joe Cordina, wasn't it? Great knockout, and much more on this on the BBC Sport website, where you can also read more about the cricket. Joe Root passing 10,000 test runs with an unbeaten century earlier. England beating New Zealand by 5 wickets in the first test at Lords. Glamorgan and Surrey frustrated by rain, which arrived just 9 balls into Glamorgan's pursuit of 161 to win in their T20 Blast South Group game at Sophia Gardens. And Rafa Nadal won the men's singles title at the French Open Tennis in Paris for a record-extending 14th time the Spanish star beating Norway's Casper Ruud in straight sets. Here come Ukraine out for the second half here in Cardiff, trailing Wales by 1-0, and here are Wales' Natasha Harding and Nathan Blake ready for second half commentary. You wonder, Natasha, what Ukraine's coach may have said to them at half time. What a 45 minutes for them to try and rescue their dreams of a place at the World Cup.
Yeah, he probably would have said do the same things you're doing, just got to be more clinical. They've had a lot of chances in on goal. Wayne Hennessy has been great, but they have had a lot of chances, and fortunately for Wales, they haven't been able to capitalise on that. So I think he'd be saying do the same things, maybe just be more clinical in front of goal.
Well, Wales unbeaten in their last 18 home matches. This is the time to make sure they maintain that record as we go into the second half. What a 45 minutes in Cardiff here on BBC Radio Wales, BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website. Natasha Harding is alongside Nathan Blake and Rob Phillips.
Don't you go anywhere, as if you would, with Wales possibly 45 minutes away. Yes, 45 minutes away from reaching a World Cup finals for the first time since 1958. I won't promise it'll be comfortable listening, but you really don't want to miss this.
It'll be exciting, Rob.
It will be. Nathan Blake and Tash Harding are entering into it. They've been kicking every ball between them. So no changes in the sides at half time as Allen wins the ball back, and it's spread across to this near side. Wales playing from right to left now towards the vocal Canton end. Ramsey forced into playing the ball out. Yarmolenko, he got caught then by Ramsey, and Nico Williams having a bit of a bust up with the Ukraine coach Alexander Petrakov. He was very quiet yesterday, but he's full of emotion on the side today.
I say Malinowski needs to be careful this half, Rob. So does Joe Hanlon, likewise.
Yeah, they've been both booked in the first half.
I think Ben Davis has been unbelievable, by the way. Just doesn't put a foot wrong, he's so steady.
And he's there again to head the ball away. Comes back to Kadirayev though. And a little nudge forward by Yaremchuk, the Benfica striker, who raised cash and bought bulletproof vests for the Ukraine soldiers. I saw a little flag in front of us. Melitopol is Ukraine, it says. And that's all about the Russian city, the Ukraine city, which is under siege from the Russian aggressors. Defiance here, but on the field it's Wales leading by 1-0 as Hennessy kicks long. And how has Hennessy, Tash Harding, vindicated the choice of him ahead of Danny Ward, do you think?
I think he's done a brilliant job, but he's an experienced player. He's got 100 caps, over 100 caps now, but he's someone that's been a great supporter of Danny Ward, but when he's needed to come in, he's done a fantastic job, and I don't think anyone should be surprised by that. And I thought his distribution tonight has been excellent, and his choice of passes, of when to go quick and when to slow it down, again, it just shows his class, and I think I speak on behalf of everyone. I think he's deserved this spot tonight.
Shows that a true team as well, Tash, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Keep supporting each other, whoever plays.
Yeah, they both had 45 against Poland in midweek. As Karavayev plays the ball infield, little touch into Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko again just inside the Wales penalty area, but Nico Williams, runs away from Yarmolenko, struggling to keep up, and feeds Daniel James, who drives forward. Daniel James is still going. He's got Kiefer Moore in support. Moore's into the penalty area, puts it across, and Ramsey touches it wide from 12 yards. That was the early chance Wales so craved in this second half. It's still 1-0.
Yeah, great play, wasn't it? Brilliant play by Nico Williams in the first instance. And then Daniel James just opens his legs down his left-hand side, picks a great pass out to the left to Kiefer Moore, who slides a great ball into Aaron Ramsey, and if anything, it just comes too quick. I think he gets it on the outside of his toes rather than the instep, and puts the ball wide.
But watching that back, watch Gareth Bale. I actually think that ball was for Gareth Bale. If Ramsey leaves that's going in.
Kiefer Moore was the ball across. As I said in the first half, we have got a monitor, but we couldn't see a wide shot on that one. Anyway, look in the paper tomorrow, it'll be a miss. As Hennessy clears long, looking for more. Well, that was pumped away by Matvienko on the volley. Nico Williams follows up, just knocked past him by Karavayev, and then a good burst down this near side by Malinovsky. He's a good player in that midfield, but Nico Williams sliding challenge, gets it back, and then Moore is pulled down, but the offside flag is up against Kiefer Moore in the distance.
Much better from Kiefer Moore. He was obviously anticipating play, but again, he's just a bit slow to get onside, and things like this would have been great. It would have been a great free kick.
Yeah, I think Wales thought it was their free kick then, but the referees just pointed out there was a flagger, and it was taken a little bit further,
10 yards
further where it should have been.
Rob.
Zinchenko's allowed to go on, out to Karavayev on this near side.
Lehoz, the referee, it's not the greatest game, I have to say, booking after a minute.
No, and he's one of the better Spanish referees.
Well, apparently so. I'm not showing it tonight though, Rob, I have to say.
Karavayev again. Back to Zabani, his Kiev teammate. Little flick inside, but that's won by Ramsey. Now Moore holds it up, plays in Daniel James. James is stumbled as Yarmolenko came in. Rob Page is furious, complains to the fourth official that he wants a booking for that, and the referee deems that the Wales manager, who was booked in the qualification rounds as well, was too strong with the arguments, and
let's make it about the referee, shall we? He's one of them, Rob. It's got to be all about me. I need to be centre of attention. I want to be more important than the game. You know, blatant foul there on Daniel James, and you can say it's probably the third one on him, and the referee has just, let it go again. You can tell it was a foul. The fans were up in front of us. Rob Page is very angry on the touchline, and within a split second the referee is brandishing Rob Page a yellow card as if he's not allowed to appeal to the referee.
No. Here comes Karavayev, right hand touch line. Ramsey heads the bouncing ball away from the edge of the box. Bale calm and collected in possession. Roden wide to Roberts, right hand side, looks for the runner Kiefer Moore, then plays it inside to Daniel James. He's got Nico Williams bursting down the left hand side, just slightly behind him, but Williams has picked it up. Now he's into the penalty area, fancies a run past Karavayev, but he's been really good, Karavayev, and he's dribbled the ball away. Did that go up for a throw in? No, says the referee. So Wales take advantage with James again, skips past two, runs into Karavayev once more, and Karavayev ends up with the ball just inside the throw.
Yeah, just need to be patient there, right. Rob. Dan James, Nico Williams. See Nico trying to take his man on. He took a touch without thinking he was going to take a touch, which meant the ball got away from him. Yes. Seen a similar thing in Poland the other night.
I think Daniel James has got to do better though still. I think
absolutely.
He can continue with the ball, because that's why Nico Williams has to then try and beat his player, because the ball's behind him, whereas the ball is in front of him. Can he deliver that in first time? Probably, yeah. But again, it comes down to Dan James's decision making on the ball. Right now, it's too inconsistent for me. And he's picking himself up in very, very good areas. He's just got to be better with his final decision. His execution.
Hennessy rolls the ball out to Burnley's Connor Roberts, showing no signs of suffering after relegation. Into Ramsey, centre field. Ramsey Good challenge on him, but Ramsey keeps possession. Wide to Bale on the right hand side. Bale moves inside, tracked by Zinchenko. Has Davis in space, moves forward a few yards. Davis floats the ball into the box. Can Ramsey keep it in? He does. Drives the ball across, and it takes a deflection off Sabani and out on the far side.
Yeah, Wales doing really well, Rob. They will recognise in the next 5-10 minutes, I think, the switch of play, move across the midfield quickly. Nico Williams has been on 3 or 4 times already this half. Wales just aren't moving that ball quick enough.
Zombie Nation rings around the stadium. The long throw from Connor Roberts. It's headed backwards by a Ukraine player and into the hands of a grateful Bushan, and it's still 1-0. You're listening to BBC Radio Wales on BBC Sounds as well, on BBC Online. It's the World Cup playoff final for the 30th place in Ukraine this November. It's Wales 1, Ukraine 0. In Qatar in November, Qatar.
Do you think the switch is on, Nate, because Wales are able to keep the ball a bit more? What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the point was made before the game that, you know, Ukraine go wide. No, Ukraine like to go down the middle, Tash. They've got so many bodies in there. They rotate really well. And they like to go up to that centre forward in Yaremchuk and play from there. Little one-touch, two-touch passes and they're away. So for Wales, they've coped with that really well. But the space for Wales is out wide.
Outsides.
Absolutely.
They're moving down the middle again with the talented Malinovsky. Had a good season in Serie A with Atalanta. Little touch by Zinchenko to Yarmolenko. Low ball into the box, chance here. Hennessy is saved and it's put wide by Yaremchuk on the rebound. It was that man, Viktor Zhankov, who's caused so many problems with runs into the box, who got the touch, and that was a glorious save from Hennessy. Not sure how much he knew about it, but he used 6 foot plus. He used his legs to knock the ball away, and it deflected into Yaremchuk. He couldn't control it, and it's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's just good defenders, isn't it? Great anticipation from Wayne Hennessy, clears it with his legs. And then in fairness, Yaremchuk has not got much time. It's just, you know, Wayne's actually kicked the ball. It's not deflected off him. He's kicked it straight to Yaremchuk and it's deflected straight out for a goal kick, thankfully.
Wales are living on the edge here, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Yarmolenko did really well. He could see that Ampadu was out of position, so he played that ball really early into the 6-yard box, hoping that someone would be there. Unfortunately for him, it was obviously Wayne Hennessy, but yeah, it was dangerous, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to look to try and suck you in centrally and use the balls out wide to try and get early crosses in, exactly the same as what Wales are trying to do. So Wales have to be mindful when they're defending their box. They have to get 3 centre-halves in the width of the goal, and Ampadu was just slightly out of position.
Brennan Johnson and Joe Morrell are warming up on the side for Wales. They've also got Harry Wilson on the bench as well, as Allen does well inside his own half. James to Bale. Bale can't control it.
Yeah, they just want 2 or 3 passes in there, Rob, and then they want to get the ball wide. You know, someone needs to just to peel off wide right or wide left, whether it's the full-backs, wing-backs, or one of the top 3. They will be an outlet every time.
Ramsey into the back of Zhankov then. He thought he got the ball fairly, but the referee was right there. Antonio Mateo Lahoz of Spain, who's not been a favourite of the crowd here. Yaremchuk, was he offside? Flag stays down. And the throw-in goes to Ukraine. The Wales fans are waiting for a flag then.
I think Joe Rodham was keeping him on side, to be honest, Rob, and I think...
Handball. Yarmolenko handball. The crowd saw it before the linesman did. As the ball bounced up from the throw. So we've played, 58 minutes now. When do you think the changes come?
I reckon he'll probably start to look at change in 65, 70 minutes. I think, you know, for me, do you bring on Joe Morrell security first, or do you bring on Brennan Johnson and you go for it still? That's why I'm not a manager. Blakey, what do you think?
Yeah, I think as the game develops, if Kiefer Moore comes into it more, pardon the pun, but I think he'll keep it the same as what it is, Tash, for up until about 70-80 minutes. If he can, he'll try and keep this shape as long as possible, because eventually you're hoping the opponent starts to run out of ideas. If Wales start to drop, I think you'll go with the latter what you said and put a midfielder in there.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that following the Scotland game, people said that Ukraine noticeably faded physically in the last half an hour.
I didn't think so, Rob. I seen that game, honestly. I've watched it 3 times.
Zinchenko through to Zinchenko. Yarmolenko goes in there. And it's Wales get the last-ditch tackle again. Zinchenko causing problems once more, turns inside the Wales penalty area, scrapping for it on that far side with Connor Roberts. Roberts has held him off and scooped the ball forward, looking for more, and it takes a deflection off the defender who ran in. That was Matvienko, and Wales have got the danger away in front of the Ninian stand, and a huge draw of relief.
Ben Davis again, Rob.
Yes, absolutely brilliant. Last ditch.
I had problems seeing that then, because they all stood up. The Ukraine fans stood up in front of us, so I might have to start standing. But Ewan Roberts warned me before the game, don't stand up, as if I'm a problem standing up in front of Ewan Roberts.
Yeah, you're not the tallest, are you, Rob? Although you are, 6 foot, is it?
Me?
Yeah. They don't know, they're on the radio.
Thanks, Tash, you go a long way, you. I'm sorry I retired you all those months ago.
Apology accepted.
Tash Harding and Nathan Blake alongside me, enjoying this. We're waiting for the celebrations, but there's still half an hour to go, and this job is by no means done for Wales. Long ball forward. Hennessy is confident that's going to drift out. The lady in front of Ian Hunt is up with her Ukraine flag again. She will not be subdued, not even by the great Ian Hunt.
The ball's it's okay, she can stand up. All she wants when the ball's on the far side is when it's like directly in front of us. Gary Speed.
Yeah, big shout out on the hour mark for Gary Speed. One Gary Speed responsible for much of this. The build up to the success of the golden generation. Yarmolenko now, Karavayev slides the ball into the box. Ben Davis there again, puts the ball out for a corner.
His defensive awareness is probably, I'd say, up there with some of the best. He's constantly in the way.
Brilliant.
Yeah. He knows where to be, when to be, and I just think he's so underrated.
He's great at reading the opponent and what they're trying to do. He can be a great midfielder because he's great at anticipating.
Corner comes in, headed out though by Rodham, picked up by Bale, takes a deflection into the path of Ramsey. Moore's going through the middle, Moore collects in the centre circle, but he had it nicked off him by Zabani.
Yeah, we've got to stop thinking we've got to attack and score on every attack, Rob, at the moment. We need to take the sting out of the game. Like I said, work this ball from left to right, get it wide, and really work this team, because you made the point about the Ukrainian team looking tired. I really thought their changes were good, and they looked to have a lot of energy late on still. So some of the older players, like Yarmolenko, but
Bale,
a lot of youth.
Cushioned header into the path of Connor Roberts. Roberts nicks past Malinovsky, leaves him on the deck, the sodden deck. Ramsey from Bale touches it through. Chance here for Dan James. He's lobbed it over. Well, actually, the goalkeeper had to save it just as it was dropping above the crossbar, and Buschan palmed it over the top for a corner. That would have been one hell of a goal.
Again, they start on one side, they keep the ball. Blakey just said Wales have to stop thinking they have to attack on every single possession of the ball. And right then it shows. When you've got composed possession, you're able to switch the ball through midfield and you create overloads in wide areas, and that's what they're able to do in their moments.
Corner to Wales, right hand side. Aaron Ramsey with it. Plenty of red shirts forward. Ramsey floats it into the middle. Davis is the target. Comes back out to the edge of the box. Bounces past James. But he's got Ramsey there. They swap passes on that far touchline in front of the Ninian stand. Ramsey fixed to go one way. Little back heel to James. Connor Roberts makes himself available. Roberts, little step over into the penalty area. Then he loses it. And that was Zinchenko who got there. And the break is on. But Nico Williams flies back and then brings down Yaremchuk. He was looking for a foul, but the referee's just run across and said, no, nothing doing there. Nico Williams, I'm not sure he's played better for Wales.
Yeah, I just think you just need to be careful. Connor Roberts there. That's for an experienced lad, it's such a poor decision he's made there.
Williams
it really cost you.
Outside of the right boot to Bale, down the left-hand side. Bale moves past his man, plays the ball back, looking for Kiefer Moore. Cleared away though. It's end-to-end stuff now. It's Malinovsky bursting over halfway or towards halfway. Sends Ramsey onto the deck. Moves into the centre circle. Holds it up for Zinchenko, calms it down. Yarmolenko's pulled wide on this near side, but Mikalenko of Everton is forward on the far side. Swaps passes with Zhankov. The Red Wall realise Wales need some help here. It's 1-0 on Radio Well Sport, but it's far from a comfortable 1-0. Ukraine are warriors, we know that, and they're showing it here. They're looking for a way back into this game. They're keeping Wales pinned around their penalty area. Only more upfield for Wales, with two back with him. Floated ball into the middle. Williams heads it away. Moore will pick it up. Holds off his man, does he? It did take a touch off Zabani, but it was Karavayev who was there to keep it in and plays it back to Matvienko of Shakhtar Donetsk. And they start again with Malinovsky, who's always looking to get on the ball.
Just a bit worried that Wales have fallen into that deep defensive block a bit too early here. Just go and counter-attack. If that's the case, I think there'll be some changes. Need some legs in there. Sorba Thomas, Brennan Johnson, people who can run and run all day.
Yarmolenko not been able to influence this game yet. Finds Zinchenko, who has an array of trophies with Manchester City. As I said, he plays left back for them, but here he's a real orchestrator in the midfield. He's on the ball again, about 20 yards from the penalty area, probing, looking for cute passes in a style that Pep Guardiola would love to see. Now it's with Malinovsky again. Short ball to Zinchenko, back to Malinovsky. Aaron Ramsey going one way then the other. Malinovsky shoots. Wayne Hennessy was stationary just off his line, but I think he knew it was always going wide.
Yeah, I thought he'd been caught off. I thought he was going right and couldn't get back to his left, but thankfully the shot was going wide, so he obviously knew it was going wide. Yeah,
I think Wales done really well then to not dive in. I think they didn't fall too deep too early, and that's what you said when when Wales fall really deep, we know how vulnerable they are, or they can be, or they used to be. But Wales have to be very good. They have to know when to engage the ball. If they're on the 18-yard box, they have to come out and engage the ball as much as they can and get back into shape, and that's what they did quite well in that.
It's just 5 yards, Tash, right? 2 yards sometimes, 1 yard sometimes. And the back three are doing really well because they're spreading and then coming in very narrow. Because, like I said, Ukraine, everything's down the middle and only playing with a one striker up front, so that back three are so concentrated, doing so well. Narrow when need to be, wide when need to be.
66 minutes on the clock. Wales lead 1-0. Gareth Bale's free kick deflected home by the Ukraine captain Yarmolenko. Floated ball into the Wales penalty area. Joe Rodon went down injured then. I think he got a nudge in the face. Wales want the game to stop, for Rodon to get treatment. Harry Wilson is warming up on the side for Wales. Couple of bit of movement off the bench as Chris Mepham goes for a little warm up as well down the near side. Ukraine have started play again with Zinchenko midway inside the Wales half. Every blue shirt bar the goalkeeper inside the Wales territory.
Yes,
Mikalenko.
Wales are forcing them wide. They want to go down the middle, but they got too many bodies in there. Bale also dropping in now into that midfield position. Doing well, but this is where they need to get hold of the ball.
Bale is on it now from the clearance. Leads Allen. Allen turns away from one. Runs into traffic. He's lost it again. It's come to Malin. Well, it was Ben Davis again with an unbelievable tackle on Shankov. Bale scoops the ball wrong. What a pass that is to Kiefer Moore. Tries to head it out here to Nico Williams, but just Matvienko waits for it. Plays it back to his goalkeeper Bushan. Sorry, Nate.
Yeah, it's just not been the best performance from Kiefer or Dan James, I'm afraid. Have to say it. Right now they need their best performances. Need to get hold of the ball, bring people into play, hold up play, win free kicks. Every time it's going up to them, it's having a poor pass, a poor header, just keeps coming back at the moment. Look at the clock now, we've been defending this for about 5 minutes.
The Red Wall are relatively quiet because they know this is a tense time of the game. Ukraine are really making life difficult for Wales here, but Wales still lead, and you could hear the Ukraine fans chanting. Ball across the box by Zinchenko, who was bursting into the box. Hit it first time left-footed, coming in from the right. He does pick up great positions. Connor Roberts lets the ball go out for a goal kick, and referee is having a word with Joe Roden, and it's Brennan Johnson who's coming on, but also there are 2 Ukrainian substitutes in the offing. Amarahid from the Wales fans as Mikola Shaparenko replaces Malinovsky, and Stepanenko is replaced by Sergei Sidorchuk. So Brennan Johnson, now a Premier League player with Steve Cooper's Nottingham Forest, is about to enter the World Cup fray for Wales. He's going to have to wait. It'll be his 10th appearance for his country. So much expected of the 21-year-old whose dad almost played for Wales, as we go into the last 20 minutes, and it's 1-0 at the Cardiff City Stadium. And you almost sense the Red Wall are waiting, thinking one more goal and we can start to celebrate.
I think they're also anticipating what's happening in the game, Rob. You know, Ukraine have been very dominant for the last 10 minutes, so they're just waiting for Wales to get a foothold back in the game and gain some momentum. Oh my days. And I actually thought he was going for a card again then, I was going to say.
Yarmolenko brought down, free kick Ukraine. Daniel James makes way for Brennan Johnson. Don't think he realised he was coming off, did Daniel James? But he's strolling off now, getting a warm ovation, and Brennan Johnson is into the heat of the World Cup battle.
I think what Brennan gives you as well, not just going forward, we all know what his qualities are, but he does work really hard off the ball, and I think right now it's just getting that bit more security for them. When they're having to chase back, when they're having to recover into shape, he might give them that extra bit of legs that they need, especially if we got Ukraine counter-attacking again down the flanks.
Zinchenko is ready to float this free kick in from the Wales right, left-footed. 2 Welsh players went up. Ampadu and Roden between them got it away. Joe Allen gets there first and then blasts the ball against a Ukraine player for a Wales throw-in. It was Sidorchuk, the substitute, who was on.
Yeah, now if you're Brennan Johnson, you have to make sure you get close to Kiefer Moore. Kiefer Moore needs to make sure his timing is right, his positional play is better. There's too much has gone, wayward from him this first 70-odd minutes. So important now, this last 30 minutes.
And don't forget, on BBC Radio Wales tonight, it's Call Rob after the game. Hopefully about 7:30. 03700 100 110. Text 81012. Tweet at BBC Radio Wales. It could be the most delirious Call Rob you've ever heard, or it could be the most dejected. So it's up to those boys on the field now to make this scoreline count. Wales lead 1-0. The clock is ticking down, but Ukraine are still full of invention. To the edge of the box. Mikolenko crosses into the hands of Wayne Hennessy. He's been so solid at the back for Wales tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's probably breeding confidence to, the back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it. And he knows when to slow the ball down. This is showing his experience now. In the first half he was throwing the ball and distributing the ball at a faster pace, you know, to Gareth Bale and Ramsey in wider areas and central areas. But now he's slowing the ball down. He knows, he understands the game. And like you said, Blakey, with experience comes games management, right?
Absolutely. I'm a bit worried about these two full-backs to mind. For the Ukraine, they're pushing on now, leaving Stepanenko and the two centre-halves in a little triangle.
Ramsey intercepts, looked for more, but more weighted, and the ball didn't arrive. Bale was there as well.
They're just on different pages, Rob.
Yeah.
Rambo's expecting him to come short. He should do, for me, should come short, lay the ball off, or get hold of it. And Kiefer's looking to run in behind.
Get Harry Wilson on, do you think?
Yeah, maybe in another 10-15 minutes or so. But then you're going to have to, I would say, push Brennan up as the 9.
Shaparenko on the ball, wide to Mikalenko. Zinchenko is there as well. Shaparenko 10 yards outside the penalty area. The other substitute is Sidorchuk. Lays it across to Kararayev. Sidorchuk on the ball again. Johnson has to move inside. Little touch of Yarmolenko, 5 yards to the Wales penalty area. Wants it on his left foot. Goes square though to Shaparenko. Shaparenko picks out Karavayev on this near side. Tries to go past Nico Williams. Was just inside the box, so Williams had to be careful. Shaparenko again with a long range shot. Well over the top. 1-0 Wales lead. And guess what? There's only 15 minutes to go.
Yeah,
it's going to be the longest 15 minutes of your life, Rob.
Thanks.
Yeah, good play again from Wales. As Tash spoke about 10 minutes ago, that patience in defence. Just move inside the side. In fairness, Ukraine aren't moving the ball very quickly, so it's helping Wales. But this lad can shift, especially if he plays on the left flank. Mudryk, I think it is.
Yeah, Mudryk.
Very good player. Watched him the other night against Scotland. Impressed me coming on. Lively, good feet, sharp.
Ramsey picks up a loose ball just outside the penalty area, the Ukraine penalty area. Bale now moves it right for Connor Roberts. Cross into the box. More. Shot by Williams, who's hit the... Johnson who's hit the post. Don't think the keeper got there. Took it on the volley, Brennan Johnson. What an impact that would have been. As Allen, who's back on it now, up to pace. Williams drives forward. Brennan Johnson's up ahead. Johnson cuts past his man, still going. Brennan Johnson slides it into Ramsey. Ramsey back across the box. Here's Bale. Oh, goalkeeper saves. That was the chance for Bale to start the celebrations at the Cardiff City Stadium.
Great football. That's what we wanted Brennan Johnson to come on. He's, for me, personal opinion, he should be playing over Dan James. That's my own personal opinion. He's got his decision making on the ball, his willingness to drive and commit players, his quality and everything. We just saw final pass, unbelievable.
Jess went to his right. More heads on from the throw-in, and this time Burashan can see the ball go over the top. Right, changes being made by Ukraine. Off comes Yaremchuk, and in his place goes Mikhailo. No, it's not Modric. So it's Yaremchuk and Shankov who've gone off, and it's Modric, Mikhailo Modric and Artem Dovbyk who goes on. And he's replaced Yaremchuk in the last 2 World Cup games as Dovbyk, and scored in both, against Bosnia and the 3rd against Scotland. And he's got a touch here inside the Wales penalty area, holding up. He looks a big, stocky player, not tall but stocky. And as Nathan Blake said, he can shift a bit as well. Still Wales have work to do. 13 minutes to go. Zinchenko lops the ball over the top. Not cleared by the Welsh defence. Yarmolenko's shot is blocked. Hennessy's on the deck, and then the ball is headed wide.
Ben Davies again. That boy is... I can't speak any highly enough about him. Same as you, Blakey. We've run out the words, haven't we, to say about him.
He's been excellent today. He's what you call play the game, Tash, not the occasion. He's not deterred at all by anything that's gone on. He's just on point, and he's so brave there in that situation. You know, Yarmolenko gets an effort, and then I think it's Ampadu with a little flick. The ball goes up in the air. Hennessy's on the floor, gets himself up, and then a huge collision.
And we shouldn't be surprised by what we see with Ukraine, because they've not lost a qualifier in the last 2 tournaments. Only Belgium can boast that record as well. So Wales, it's so tantalisingly close, but there's still so much to do.
Yeah, like I said, Rob, you don't see this Ukrainian team looking tired, do you? They look like they got legs, like they're, 12 minutes to go plus injury time. They're going to go right to the very end.
Well, they've been training at the Slovenian National Football Centre since about March. They've played a few friendlies. 16 of their 27 are based in the Ukraine, so they've had to smuggle them out with stories of the army. Ukraine army sent a flag to hang up in their dressing room today, just to inspire them further. But on the pitch, they're just dreaming of the World Cup, just like these Wales players.
Well, they've got absolutely nothing to lose, Rob. No one's expecting them to field the team, let alone get this far. So all credit to them, regardless of the result today. They've been brilliant.
Now the ball is right on the byline, because Zabani thought he was going to go out for a goal kick. Actually, he's won the throw-in, which is taken quickly. Bale tries to charge it down, almost happens, but it allows Ampadu to head the ball forward. Bale is offside. He's staying back though, just in case Matvienko headed it backwards, and Zinchenko moves forward. Bale and Moore, the only two in the Ukraine half at the moment. Zinchenko on the ball again, fair-haired, wiry, really good player. Mikolenko.
It's Lomachenko I'm worried about, Rob. He's drifting into pockets all the time.
Shaparenko back to Sidorchuk, and Hennessy, cool as you like, calms the ball down, the shot from 25 yards, and then drops on it. 1-0 Wales. Nathan Blake, Tash Harding.
Yeah, it's just about this last 10 or so minutes now, Rob. Wales just need to hold their nerve. Need to get a bit more possession of the ball from me to run down this clock.
This is where we need Kiefer Moore to turn up now, don't we?
Absolutely.
We need him to do what he was doing in qualification prior to his injury. This is what we need him to do. We need him to hold the ball up, be a nuisance, allow the boys to get the ball to you, hold it up, allow us to get up, win a free kick. This is why you're there. This is what we need you to do.
Yarmolenko flicks the ball inside left, but Wales were aware of it. Roden was across from his central position. Now it's Sidorchuk wide to Karavayev. Karavayev back inside to Shaparenko. They really are testing Wales's resolve here, are Ukraine. Ranked 27th in the world, 8 places below Wales. But driven on. Hoisted ball out to the near side. Karavayev has been among their best players. Into the substitute, Sidorchuk, but he's lost it. Ramsey drives it against his face, then he curls it forward to Moore. Now if Moore can turn, he's got Johnson bursting forward, plays it back to Nico Williams. Not the best ball. Oh, Nico Williams somehow avoids the challenge of Sidorchuk and then gives the ball away. And the referee has given the free kick on Nico Williams. Andrei Yarmolenko can't believe it, but the referee has just put the magic spray down just to rub it in. I mean, it's a foot in from the touchline on halfway.
Some more legs coming on in Harry Wilson now.
32,660 are here, and over 30,000 of those are waiting to have a party, but they still can't pop the champers yet. 8 minutes to go at the Cardiff City Stadium on Radio World Sport, BBC Sport Online, and we're about to see the departure of Gareth Bale. Viva Gareth Bale. His free kick deflected in has put him within touching distance of rubbing shoulders with the true greats on the biggest world stage. Bale walks off to a standing ovation around the stadium, and has he done enough to fulfil his dream, Wales's dream, as he encourages Wilson to just put in the effort.
Yeah, let's
get
hope
the hug
so,
off
Rob.
his manager.
Let's hope so. Absolutely, let's hope so, Rob, because I think it's clever play by Rob Page. People might say, oh, the match winner, you're taking off a match winner, but it's evident they need legs, and right now Gareth haven't got those legs. So, you know, last 10 minutes, big effort from those boys out there. If they can hold out, they're on their way to a World Cup.
Davis in again.
Keeper
Moore wanted handball, wasn't given. Bricks to Zinchenko. Mikalenko on the overlap, crosses into the middle. What a save by Hennessy. Still not cleared by the Wales defence. Davis squirts it behind. It was Artem Dovbyk header, and Hennessy made a save that just might send Wales to Qatar.
What a save, Rob. What a save. That's equally as good as the free kick we've seen from Gareth Bale. Absolutely amazing save. Great crossing, great header. He's to his left, he's on his move. He's on the move, to his left, dive in. Great save, big left hand.
Yeah, he's helped his teammate out there, hasn't he? Kiefer Moore helped him out. What a save.
Corner, 84 minutes on the clock. The Cardiff City Stadium holds its breath as Zinchenko takes it low, straight into the chest of Aaron Ramsey. Hammered forward by Nico Williams. Wilson battles for it on halfway. Little header forward, picked up by Williams again. Robbed by Zinchenko though, tried to be a bit clever, but he's won it back. And Ramsey has gone away, over halfway. It's 4 against 4 if Wales can play it. Ramsey still going, brings in Wilson. Wilson edge of the box, has to go backwards, gets brought down.
Well played.
And it's going to be a free kick. And I bet Harry Wilson gets up and wants to take it.
Yeah, and that's a great bit of play from Wales there. Sensible by Harry Wilson. He could have tried to stay on his feet. He doesn't. Takes the free kick, wastes a bit more time. It's all about game management now, Rob.
Harry Wilson gets lauded by the Wales fans. Could he make all the difference? Could he seal the deal for Wales? The Fulham player who's had a wow of a season in the Championship. Wilson, with 5 goals for his country, steps up to take this free kick, takes it off the wall and out for a corner. That'll do with 5 minutes to go.
Absolutely, Rob, that's all you need. It's about game management now.
You can see Ben Davis sending Ethan Amber to go back. We don't need you up here now. You can see this is where experience has to come into play, and Ben Davis, I think, has done a phenomenal all-round job today of showing experience and his absolute quality.
Well, man of the match, Hennessy or Davis.
Corner coming in, floated, looking for more over his head. Brennan Johnson will keep it in on the byline though. Needs support. Turns against his man. Now what can Brennan Johnson do? Tight against the touchline. Drags in one player, and then Nico Williams plays the ball into the penalty area, headed away. Wales have to get the second ball, they don't. And then they commit the foul on halfway. It was Artem Dovbyk who was brought down. Referee right there. And we're into the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's easy for us to say, but you just need to exercise some patience. Wales went on the ball.
A game that could change Wales's history. Oh, Mikalenko into the penalty area. And Joe Allen was the hero then. Cleared it away. Long range shot, and Hennessy's right behind it. That time it was Evidence Vitalo Mikalenko. And there's a Wales player down in the penalty area as well. I think it's Ben Davis actually.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Wales clear the ball up for a throw. This is going to add time, and you can almost cut the tension, can't you? Here, it is Ben Davis. He's up now. So the red wall rise. They know they're dreaming of Qatar, and this dream is oh so close. Tash Harding, talk me through it.
I don't know. I'm forgetting I'm doing commentary. I think I'm part of the red wall at some points. I just think they're showing this at the experience. They got Lady Luck on this side, I think, right now, and there is things that they should probably be going in against Scotland. They will probably going in against us. They're not clinical and taking their chances as well. And we've got Wayne Hennessy who's turned up tonight. He looks like a goalkeeper in his prime. He doesn't look like a goalkeeper that's sat on the bench for how many months and seasons. So for me, him and Ben Davies have summed up this Wales squad tonight, and that is a squad, mate. What do you think?
I totally agree with you, Tash. Been brilliant.
Two balls on the pitch now. Zinchenko's played the ball back to Nico Williams. The clock ticks down. 2 minutes to go on the ordinary clock, but I imagine there'll be at least 5 or 6 minutes, so still time. Qatar awaits, the smallest country to host the World Cup, the first in an Arab nation. But we know Wales's problems. They've been so close on so many occasions, but it's 64 years since they last got there. Karadayev tries to extend that. Yarmolenko now thinks about shooting, drifts the ball out to the left hand side. Mikalenko will cross it into the box. Williams heads it away, comes to the substitute. Drives it over the top, miles over the top by Sergei Sidorchuk, the captain of Dynamo Kiev, and he almost reached Kiev with that shot.
Yeah, he's just snatching at it, Rob. Wales do have to be careful. They're dropping and dropping. We just hope the chances keep falling to the wrong men.
Well, Qatar is the second flattest country in the world, but Wales have got still a mountain to climb before they can step on the sands of the desert there. See what I did there?
I can't even hear you, Rob, honestly.
It's an astonishing atmosphere at the Cardiff City Stadium. You almost sense the red wall, think it's done, but it's not yet. All eyes on the fourth official, who will tell us how long we have to go. It's 1-0 Wales. Gareth Bale's deflected free kick has given Wales the advantage. Ramsey wins it off Yarmolenko, stays on the deck, scooped forward by Wilson for Ramsey to chase again, but he'll be beaten to it by Sidorchuk. Yarmolenko is still down, fourth official is still poised. How long left, sir?
It looked like 5 minutes just then when he held it up.
It is 5 minutes. Wales are 5 minutes away from ending 64 years of disappointment and frustration. Cleared away by Ethan Ampadu, looking for Kiefer Moore, but he was running away, and Matvienko didn't. Now Moore tries to win it back. He can't though. It was Shaparenko who stumbled but got back to his feet. Yarmolenko.
Everything at it now.
Karavayev down the right hand side to Yarmolenko. Blocked first time, second time. Nico Williams slides in. It's so frantic. The red wall breathe again here on BBC Radio Wales. Williams has stayed down. There'll be treatment for him. The wait goes on. This is extraordinary, isn't it, Nathan Blake?
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. We expected it, though. We knew it wasn't going to be an easy affair. We knew it was going to be tight. It was going to go right to the wire. Let's hope Wales can hold on now this last 3 or 4 minutes.
Karavayev plays the ball back to Zinchenko, 20 yards from the penalty area. Mikalenko is forward again, plays it back to Zinchenko. Wilson tracking the ball. Ukraine looking for a way through. Float the ball into the penalty area. Davis heads it away. Ramsey gets a touch. Runs into Zinchenko. Breaks to Sidorchuk again. Yarmolenko now, the captain today, trying to drive his side forward. Still they will not relent, Ukraine. Still their fans are in hope. Cross into the middle. Williams heads it away. It's going to go straight to Sidorchuk, to Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko, couple of step overs. Shoots right, put it over the top. Over the top. The red wall breathe again, and a minute or two of the added 5 has just gone, and Rhys Norrington-Davies is awaiting to join the fray.
Yeah, they've just decided Wales we're going to play defence via attack. There's just no out ball. Every time it goes near Kiefer, either he can't hold it up, or he's out of position, or the ball's just not good enough up to him. So he is struggling at the moment.
He's been excellent today. I I thought the game.
Rhys Norrington Davis will replace Nico Williams, who's had a wow of a game. Rhys Norrington Davis, of course, looking to get Wales to Qatar when he was born in Saudi Arabia. Feel like home from home. So Rhys Norrington Davis of Sheffield United, I think it's going to be, well, we'll say a back three, but I think Robertson, Norrington Davis won't be bursting
like I said,
forward.
Rob, it's just attack v defence now. You know, Wales have set their stall out. They're saying, come on then, we're going to allow you to have the ball, we're going to drop off to our 18-yard box, and you're going to have to beat us.
There'll be 6 minutes of added time now, not 5, so it's 3 minutes to go after this, and then the ball is driven forward and too strongly by Zabarani.
I think
and still the Wales fans don't quite believe it yet.
Where did that extra minute come from, Rob? 6 minutes?
Well, because of the delay in the injuries, I'd say.
Oh, okay. It might be 30 seconds, but
Brennan Johnson's done a great job.
Let's shorten it as much as you can, yeah?
See what I can do.
Yes. Have a word with the ref.
Zinchenko still full of it, but Ben Davis clears. Ben Davis has been an absolute rock for Wales. Wilson wins possession in midfield. Oh, slipped though by Connor Roberts, and Ampadu steps in, and Ampadu's taken out after the ball is gone, and that's going to be a free kick to Wales, and it's a yellow card too.
Mudryk.
Yeah, it is. Mikhailo Mudryk, who's been touted for top level football. In fact, his first coach said it'd be a personal defeat if he doesn't make it to the top. So Hennessy is stride into the ball. Honestly, we're ever so close, but we dare not say those words yet.
Don't say it yet, Rob.
Okay, I'm not. I'm trying to keep it in. Wales are leading 1-0.
2 minutes away, Rob, and make it.
I'm tingling already. The hairs on the back of my neck are standing. And it's a Wales throw deep in Ukraine's half. The whole of the Ninian stand opposite is stood up. Nathan Blake is singing "Don't Take Me Home." Scott Young is stood up in front. It's okay, Nip, you'll never win Eurovision.
I don't want to.
So
I want to go to the World Cup, mate. That's it.
It's a goal kick. Ukraine have taken it short. They've got 1 minute to break the hearts of Wales fans and send this game into extra time. Karabayev, who hasn't stopped all afternoon, floats the ball out to the left-hand side. Does it go too far? It does.
That's our ball.
Shaparenko gives it in, or then he kicks out. Wilson is saying that was a lash out. The cameras are circling around Robert Page. He is within seconds of creating history. This place will erupt in elation in just a few seconds time. I make it 15 seconds to go. 15 seconds after 64 long years. A header forward. It's in the Ukraine half. That's the final whistle. Wales have done it! They've reached the World Cup! Their drought is at an end! The staff run onto the pitch. Wayne Hennessy is engulfed. It's just delirium at the Cardiff City Stadium. Oh my goodness! I never thought I would see this. Wales have been so close with disappointments, but wow, it's happening. Yes, the journey of Ukraine's warriors is over. They fought valiantly. They've represented their besieged countrymen with so much endeavour, so much desire. But this is Wales's night. They are going to Qatar. They are going to face England, Iran, the US of A. I've never seen scenes like this, and why not? This is a generation-defining victory for Wales. And yes, Gareth Bale, whose free kick helped take Wales there, a man on a mission, a talisman. He will be on the same stage as Messi, as Ronaldo, all the greats of world football. And it's a place he deserves to be. Rob Page goes over to greet Yarmolenko, who tried so hard for Ukraine, but nothing will quell the celebrations here. Start booking those hotels in Doha. Just get ready for the sand beneath your feet. Wales are going to the World Cup. It's finished. Wales 1, Ukraine 0.
You've never seen anything like it, Rob. None of us have ever seen anything like it. That's why, because it was almost a lifetime, 64 years since this happened. We have never, ever seen anything like this inside this stadium. Flares are being chucked down onto the field. Players are in tears. Aaron Ramsey's coming towards us in tears. He can't believe it. Gareth Bale can't believe it. He's being hugged by everyone and followed around the place by a TV camera. Everyone is hugging each other here in the press box. The Ukrainian fans in front of us look utterly dejected, and you can completely understand and sympathise with how they're feeling right now. But for Wales, wow, what a moment this is. The wait is over. All of those narrow failures, the near misses, the controversies, the calamities, forget about it. History has just been rewritten. Natasha Harding.
Emotions are everywhere. I think, you know, you dream of this as a player, you dream of it as a fan, and I think everyone's emotions erupted, I think, on that final whistle, and to see the boys achieve this, get it over the line, I think it's an incredible achievement by this group of players.
Please don't take me home, they sang towards the end of that game. Well, there ain't no one going home early to beat the traffic this evening, not on a night like this, as Wales qualify for the 2022 World Cup. These are scenes, Rob, that remind us of Euro 2016 and when Wales qualified for that tournament in Bosnia despite a defeat there. This is on another level.
Honestly, I mean, it was ecstasy when Wales qualified for the Euros. And let's be honest, they crossed the Rubicon that night. They crossed a huge psychological barrier. And now everybody joins in applause for Ukraine as the players go across to their fans and the Wales players in the middle of the pitch. This pitch will not be clearing for quite some time, and the red wall will want to celebrate as long as possible. And let's face it, it's been so long. It's been so long. Wales have ended a World Cup drought. Only Cuba and Indonesia waited longer. In fact, it's just astonishing. I am so privileged to be witness to this. And as we talk, then it says that it really says something that the Ukraine players, Viktor Shankov, who nobody worked harder than him, has applauded the Wales fans and the Ukraine fans in front of us as he heads off down the tunnel, dejected. They had a World Cup dream and more, but it's Wales' night. As the Wales players go across to applaud the 1,800 or so Ukraine fans. Football is united on a night like this, despite the result. But nobody will deny Wales their place in the 2022 World Cup.
That's a heartwarming moment, that, isn't it? As all of the Wales players and the coaching staff go over to that far corner to acknowledge those 2,000 near Ukrainian fans who came here hoping to see their war-torn country make it to the World Cup, and a symbol of hope and defiance and optimism for them and everything that they're going through. But it is not to be for Ukraine. it is to be for Wales. And Rob was talking about that long wait to get to the World Cup finals. The 19th of June 1958 was when they were last there, that quarter-final where they lost to Brazil and a goal by Pelé in Gothenburg in Sweden. 64 years since they last played in a World Cup match. 169 days until they play their next one. And here we go, I think, with a run from the halfway line all the way to the Canton end by those Wales players. Sliding onto the ground in the goal mouth. What scenes, Nathan Blake. I mean, just amazing, something we have never, ever seen before.
Unbelievable, Ian. You know, a fantastic game, end to end. It had everything, we expected everything. And Wales just slightly better over the 90 minutes. Yes, you could say Ukraine had the better the second half, but it's all about putting that ball in the back of the goal. And the man stood up again, didn't he, Gareth Bale, and produced the goods, and we find ourselves on our way to a 2020 World Cup, 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Absolutely fantastic scenes.
Gareth Bale's just fallen to the ground there as if he's got cramp. Well, he's just celebrating, just doing a little somersault there. And the players then acknowledging the Canton end, and then the grandstand here where we're sat. No one's going anywhere. The ground is still absolutely jam-packed. And coming up at 7:30, it is Call Rob, your chance to share the joy.
I said it was going to be either dejection or delirium. I think it's the latter. In fact, there may still be noises here. It's just an extraordinary night. Honestly, it's a night that can change Welsh football forever. They built on Euro 2016, so they qualified for 2 Euros on the trot and a World Cup now. Remember what Chris Coleman said, don't be afraid to dream. And that's what these Wales players have done, and they made this dream a reality.
And winning is a mentality, Ian, right? It's no coincidence. You get the 2016, you just miss out on the World Cup. You get the 2020 or 2021, and then you actually make it on your next attempt at the World Cup. Absolutely brilliant. Can't speak highly enough of this last decade, because I think it's been absolutely wonderful by all involved. Absolutely wonderful. And it's just great to see Wales, this country, this nation, at last going to a World Cup. It's going to be amazing, mate. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Well, we've had Andy Williams, isn't it? I love you, baby. Now we've got, I think, Catatonia every day. I thank the Lord I'm Welsh. How good does it feel to be Welsh? How good does it feel to be alive right now and to be a fan of Welsh football after disappointment on the club scene? Let's be honest, this season for Cardiff, Swansea, Newport and Wrexham, how good does this feel to see Wales get to the World Cup? And Gareth Bale, who we've talked about, will this be his last game? No, it won't be now, because he will go on for at least another 6 months. He will go to the World Cup, and again it was him today. It was an own goal, yes, but it was him who forced it to happen. He's the story again.
Yeah, it's a very clever play actually, because from the angle he was at, you're thinking if he shoots, he needs to make this bounce before the keeper. Plus, we knew that the goalkeeper was very suspect, so it was clever play, as we'd say in football. Clever play from Gareth Bale. He hits a free kick, you still got to get it past the wall, it's dipping, and unfortunately the player Lomachenko, I've absolutely totally forgotten his name, just dives in the way of it. He's trying to get a little something on it, and unfortunately for him, a little deflection and ends up in the back of the net. But you have to say, he's had a brilliant run of games also. I think Ukraine have been absolutely outrageously good, out of this world. But there was only going to be one winner, and for me, my nation, my country, I wanted it to be Wales, and it is Wales.
It certainly is, Natasha, as Gareth Bale waves to somebody in the stand there. Thumbs up, another wave. Connor Roberts is right down beneath us on the halfway line, and looking up to the crowds. Ben Davis as well, a hug for Joe Allen from someone. Rob Page is in the thick of it somewhere, can't pick him out. He might be doing TV interviews. We'll try and bring you some reaction as well before 7:30, before Call Rob. A reminder, it's 03700 100 110 to get in touch with Rob and guests. 8 10 12 on the text. or tweet at BBC Radio Wales. And I think Bale will be the first to do some post-match interviews, and Ben Davies as well is going to chat to the media. What a night. I think I think someone's just been given a Welsh flag by one of the pitch-side interviewers. Aaron Ramsey, I think, just picked up a Welsh flag, and Gareth Bale's putting a black coat on. They aren't going anywhere for some time to come. Who wants some World Cup fixtures? So we remind people what's to come. Cross out the pencil, write these down with ink instead, because they are real. They are now happening. November the 21st. Wales against the USA is one of 4 opening day games. November the 25th, Wales against Iran, and then 4 days later, Wales against England at the World Cup. What occasion that's going to be.
It's going to be immense. And you know, I see Rob Page down there. I'm so pleased for him. Yes, he's followed in the footsteps of the great Jimmy Murphy, also from the Ronda. But the circumstances in which he's had to take over this squad and the way they've developed under him, and you know, the other people I feel really pleased for. Down in a suit down there, in a dress, is Suzanne Twamley of the FAW. Nathan knows her well, I'm sure Tash does as well. Yeah. They have worked so hard behind the scenes to bring the FAW from where it was many years ago. Let's face it, not the greatest outfit running Welsh football, but on and off the field, it's got better. And those are the people, and she will just be absolutely... She'll be reveling in this, and I noticed Gareth Bale gave her a big hug, so that says everything about the sort of people that we should never forget on a night like this, on a game-changing night for Welsh football.
Yeah, Noel Mooney was talking about what it means for Welsh football in terms of money, in terms of investing in the grassroots of the game in Wales and getting more people playing the game. This is really going to take things, you would hope, to a new level. We're talking about legacy and so on, but for the moment it's all about the celebration, and these are going on for some time to come. I think it's going to be no ordinary Sunday night in Wales. Goodness knows how Gareth Bale could hear the guy interviewing him pitch side at the moment. We've got Neil Taylor with us as well on Match of the Day tonight. Can you hear me, Neil?
I can hear you, yes.
How are you feeling? Sum it up.
Really good, actually, really good. I think the second half wasn't nice to watch, was it? But I think in the end, I felt it was always coming. I thought we were always going to get the win, and I think, these are fantastic scenes on the pitch here, and what an amazing occasion for Wales, really.
It's just extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, I was talking about how it kind of reminds you will remember Bosnia in 2015 when, despite losing on the night, you qualified for Euro 2016, and Chris Coleman being chucked in the air and all that kind of celebrations on the pitch out there. This is a different thing entirely, the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly, and we're going to a World Cup, and I heard you just speaking then about obviously what it'll do for grassroots football and money and infrastructure and everything in this country. It's fantastic, but the great thing is as well is this is a young team and a lot of good players on the bench still to develop as well into really good players, and what makes us so proud is back in 2015 when we did qualify, we did say let's not make this a one-off, let's make it something that carries on for years and years, and that's exactly what we're doing.
But would you have really believed, that you would have got to Euro 2020 and then to the World Cup in 2022? If someone had said that to you, you're going to do that, would you?
Yeah,
what would you have said?
I think honestly, if you go back to 2012-13, if you had said to me in 2016 you're going to qualify, you'd say no chance. So once it's been done, then the belief should be there. You can see the belief is definitely in this squad.
We can hear from Ethan Ampadu and Joe Roden with Shauna David.
Joe, I'll come to you first. It's been 64 years since we last saw Wales at the World Cup. You guys have finally done it. How are you feeling?
I don't think it's sunk in yet. I'm lost for words. I just can't believe it. It's been an incredible journey, and there's no better group that deserve it. And these boys have been playing with, and the fans as well. They've been absolutely incredible, and I'm just delighted that we've done it for them and for everyone involved. And I'm just lost for words.
Joe, you're lost for words just like all of us. Ethan, I have to say, it wasn't pretty out there today. You really had to grind towards the end, but you got yourselves over the line.
Yeah, no, we were speaking about it on the pitch, me and Joe. We said it's probably maybe the toughest second half we've had. Maybe one of the worst second half we've had. Yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, we can't nobody can complain. We're going into the World Cup now, so that's what matters.
Hey guys, you've got England, Iran, the USA waiting for you at the World Cup. How does that feel?
He said earlier, it's not quite sunk in yet. We're going to enjoy the time with the fans now, and then we've got plenty of time to think about that. But now we're just going to enjoy getting there.
Guys, go and enjoy tonight. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, that's Joe Roden and Ethan Ampadu with Sean David of S4C. Match of the day, Wales tonight at 10:35. If you haven't seen it, or even if you've seen it already and you want to watch it again, relive it all with Jason Mohammed and guests, including Neil Taylor, who's just had to pop away. But good to hear from him, and Natasha and Nathan obviously still with us, and he was videoing it and taking pictures as well, just like the rest of us. Even if you've been to the Euros and played at the Euros, on occasions like this, you're just a fan like us.
Yeah, because we want this amazing country to do well. We want to go places. We understand talent, and when we have a great group of players, no matter what sport that may be, this whole country always gets behind them, and you want to do well. And myself being part of the FAW, to see the boys achieve this, this stuff that we can only dream of, and yeah, it's amazing.
Really makes you desperate. You want to be down there on a pitch like that, celebrating like that, having got to the World Cup with the women's team.
Yeah, that would be an amazing achievement, but it's something that would be, it's a dream for us all, and we're so incredibly proud of this group of players. It's amazing to watch.
And look who's back out there. You can hear it. David Ewan's going back for another rendition of Ohid. There he is with all of the players in the middle. While that continues, let's hear from the man of the moment yet again, Gareth Bale with Shorted.
Gareth, Wales have just booked themselves a place at the World Cup. Huge congratulations. How are you feeling?
Yeah, thank you. It's difficult to put into words, but something we've been working all our careers for, and to do this for the fans, for the nation, for ourselves, for our families is an incredible achievement and something we'll be forever proud of.
Gareth, just listen to this. How much does this mean to you?
Yeah, it means everything. It's the last piece of the jigsaw that we all wanted to do, we all wanted to achieve, and we're going to celebrate well tonight.
Gareth, I'm relieved I haven't got to ask you if you're retiring. We'll see you in Qatar in November.
And he's out there now in the middle of that group of players as Amaro Heath continues with David. Just feels slightly surreal, this, doesn't it, in a way? David Ewan at the front, singing along to his own backing track, and then there's a big banner that says Diolch i'r Wal Goch as the players have their photographs taken. There must be, 24 cameramen on the touchline there, and all sorts of people as well, some stewards, and the whole coaching staff involved in that big group there as they all sing along to this unofficial anthem. That's what it's become, hasn't it, for the Welsh team? It was sung before the Austria game, it was sung before the game this evening, and now it's sung by the Wales team and the 31,000 Wales fans inside the ground this evening. There are still a few Ukrainian fans, believe it or not, still over in that far corner between the Ninian and the family stands, but so special this, isn't it? Nathan Blake, who's getting his own little video there to keep for evermore. And it is a night, isn't it, Natasha, that we will say, I was here, I was there to see Wales qualify for the World Cup.
Look, I think we can all speak on behalf of everyone here in this stadium, watching it at home. We were here when they did it, and what an incredible time to be involved with this red wall, the boys, the FAW. Honestly, it's one of the proudest moments I can honestly say to be part of the FAW, to see a Welsh team qualify for the World Cup. It's a very, very proud moment.
This is something we don't often see. Gareth Bale, the family man, he's got one of his children in his arms. I think the others are next to him, and his wife as well. It's lovely to see moments like that. There are other Wales players, I think, with their own children on the touchline. Just a glimpse at what they are like behind the scenes, I suppose, as the family men.
We see the dad, we see the human side, we see the guy that likes to be with his friends, likes to have a laugh, but he likes to keep himself and his family apart from football. And these are the moments that we all get to witness us, and again it just shows the humility of this squad to show and to one day family to be part of stuff like this with us all. It just shows the connection that they have with the fans.
Well, you dream about moments like these, don't you? There have been so many moments, and Nathan Blake, you will know this. The Wales have gone through over the past 64 years. You've been part of World Cup campaigns, European Championship campaigns where you've come so close but haven't quite managed to make it. So how does it feel to see this, not just as a former player but as a Welshman?
Just as a Welshman here, just like you say, you get so close but you're so far away really and truly, and you start to wonder, would it ever happen? Would it happen in your lifetime? So to witness what we have over the last decade, they keep going on about it, but to witness what we have has been really special for Welsh football and special for this nation. And I just hope now that it's a legacy that's been built, and going forward I'd just like to see Wales keep building on this legacy, because it's been a fantastic decade that is unrivaled in Welsh football. It's as simple as that.
One of the days when Wales struggle to qualify for tournaments, they should be qualifying for tournaments on a regular, repeated basis now, whether it's World Cups or European Championships.
You don't produce a Gareth Bale every year. You don't produce an Aaron Ramsey every year. Those things are in the grassroots. Those things are so important, and it's nights like tonight which help those things. They help develop those youth structures. The League of Wales, Cardiff City, Swansea City, Wrexham, Newport, all these teams, they should be helping these teams to develop their youth structures, and hopefully going forward in future we have many, many more of these nights.
Well, you want to see more scenes like this, don't you? Zombie Nation now booming out around the Cardiff City Stadium. The lights are going on and off. The players are over on the far side now, over by that Ninian stand, and you've got one man, I think it's Aaron Ramsey, wrapped in a Welsh flag. You've got somebody. What's that?
We need now a Joe Ledley dad.
A Joe Ledley dad. Where's Joe Ledley when you need him?
Blakey will do it instead.
What's that?
I said Blakey will do it.
Yeah, if you want to see my knee go out.
Don't forget that you can share your thoughts and your emotions in 10 minutes time. Call Rob, the football phone. It's going to be very special tonight. 03700 100 110. You can text on 81012 or tweet at BBC Radio Wales. Are you hoping to go to Qatar? Have you dreamt about going to the World Cup as a Wales fan for years and years, but wondered whether it would ever happen in your lifetime? Tell us how you're feeling this evening. Get in touch and talk to Rob Phillips and guests as the Wales players come towards the touchline and begin to head down the tunnel and into the dressing room, and then on to who knows what. You would imagine, Rob Phillips, there is some kind of party planned. There's got to be.
Well, I'm not thinking of ringing Robert Page tonight, put it that way, Anthony. I don't want to be offended when he doesn't pick up. No, there will be a big party, and my, don't they deserve it? And then they'll get their game heads back on for a Nations League game on Wednesday. So I suspect you may see a lot of the players who played in Poland last Wednesday. But what an evening. This will never be forgotten by everybody here, by everybody listening, by everybody watching. It is an absolute, it's truly astonishing what we've witnessed.
Well, how long have you been following football? Welsh football, Rob? How long have you been working on it?
30 years.
More than 30 years. And in your lifetime, did you think you'd ever see this moment?
No.
Right.
And Wales has always been my biggest thing. I've always got the biggest kick out of watching Wales than any other thing. But those are the days when 4,000, 5,000 would turn up at maybe the racecourse or Ninian Park or whatever. Now look at this. And Wales are not punching above their weight. They're up there with the best in the world now. Says everything.
Yeah, we just see Gavin Foxall, the Newport chairman, Swansea manager, Russell Martin was here, and Scott Young, the former Cardiff City player, you know pretty well. Loads of people all here tonight to see this.
Yeah, everyone's here. It's just an unbelievable moment, an unbelievable evening. Fist pumps for the fans, everything. It's almost, I don't know, it's that sort of Welsh warrior spirit. It's just a fantastic evening, Ian. Absolutely fantastic evening. You almost run out of superlatives, you run out of words to say. It's just about looking forward now. We've spoken about it for so many years. Will we make a World Cup? Will we ever make a World Cup? We're coming close. You know, the last 6 months, we've been talking about all sorts of things. You know, it's hard to believe that 6 months ago we were in the Euros, we were flying through the Ukraine. We were stopping at the Ukraine in Kiev. And now we find that situation like quite unbelievable to be watching. So listen, to be stood here watching this game with these two teams, listen, I just like I say, credit both teams, credit Ukraine, because I think what they've done has been absolutely remarkable. But on top of that, Wales, you know, not qualifying for 64 years, like I said, these lads are heroes, this staff are heroes. They've built a legacy for themselves, and I just congratulations to every single one of them, because they've been, to a man and a woman, they've been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, they certainly have. And talking of big names, there's Mark Drakeford, the First Minister, in the director's box away to our left-hand side, having his photograph taken with somebody in a bucket hat, whoever that is in there. Loads of people still hugging each other as the crowd now begins to thin out, and people, I was going to say head home, but who's heading home? I think people are going out for a drink somewhere. It's going to be a late one on this Sunday evening. And as the dust on the celebrations begins to settle down, maybe we can just talk about moments in the match, although it feels quite banal. It feels quite ordinary to talk about the match now. I know, let's just celebrate. But when you talk about heroes, we will party, but we're talking about heroes, we're talking about Bale. You have to give credit to others, Tash, don't you? The likes of Wayne Hennessy, who, you know, tonight he was brilliant. He made 9 saves for Wales in this game. Ukraine's 9 shots on target, the most, by the way, by a team without scoring during a game in the 2022 European World Cup qualifying campaign. So they had their moments, but Hennessy was brilliant.
Yeah, and I said to the boys earlier in commentary, he looked like a goalkeeper in his prime. He didn't look like a goalkeeper that has, you know, had to sit on a bench for the last 2 seasons. He looked like he was, you know, thriving in this occasion when maybe other players might have shrunk, and he was phenomenal. And I you know, again, we talk about heroes, and Ben Davies, for me, he's been such a consistent performer over the last 2 years. You've got to give him credit, and he's so underrated, but he consistently turns out performances for Wales, and again he did it tonight, and you know, they were both 10 out of 10 for me.
There was a block, wasn't there? A crucial block from Davies. It was like his block against Slovakia at Euro 2016. And it's gone quiet at last. I can hear myself. That's better. Rob's got another 60 minutes to get his voice through on Call Rob on 03700 100 110. Text on 81012. Tweet at BBC Radio Wales. The phone lines are open. There'll be loads of reaction as well, of course, on the BBC Sport website and online via social media. Plenty to read about, to listen to, and to revel in over the next few hours, few days, few weeks. You know, we're going to be talking about this for such a long time to come, and you know, it's amazing, isn't it, when we've got 3 matches still to come over the next 7 days. What are they going to feel like, Tash? Three Nations League games, including one here on Wednesday against the Netherlands.
For me, I'd be looking
bizarre,
at who's making these fixtures, and you know, you're playing a World Cup qualifier that, you know, it potentially puts you in a World Cup that you haven't been in since 1958, and someone then goes and puts you in the middle of a Nations League.
Well, it was meant to be, of course, in March, wasn't it? That was when this game was meant to take place.
But,
so this is kind of,
you know, could they have given the boys some celebration room? I don't know, but you know, the boys will want to enjoy themselves. They want to enjoy this moment with each other. But unfortunately now, you know, they've got to prepare for another game. They've got to recover, and they've got to go again. And that's football. That's professional football, unfortunately.
And it will be, I suppose, it will be an opportunity for others in the squad to, you know, trying to make the mark, really, heading towards the World Cup in in the winter, you know, they can get some game time in these Nations League matches and try to make sure they're on that plane to Qatar.
Yeah, and you know, one player certainly for me, Brennan Johnson. If he can churn out the performances that he's doing, I think we'll see him start in a World Cup, and I do think he has the quality to play above other players that are playing in the team right now. And that, again, that's my personal opinion, but I thought today he showed glimpses again of his excellence. His game intelligence was incredible. To have the capability to find a small pass within the blur of the attack, you know, shows his quality.
Nathan made the point, you know, that we won't have Gareth Bale forever. Who knows whether we'll have him beyond the World Cup. Aaron Ramsey, Joe Allen may be coming towards the end of their careers. You need players like that, Brendan Johnson's, Dan James's, to get to their level, almost to try to get to their level. It's hard to get to Gareth Bale's level, but do you know what I mean? To be the next generation who can get Wales to these tournaments in the future.
Yeah, and you know, I do think the boys will probably still fight tooth and nail. That it won't give up the shirt that easy, and I know everyone keeps talking about them giving up or retiring for Wales. I don't think the boys will do it, and I think no one ever understands that unless you play for Wales or represent Wales. Only fans and media can speculate, but you will never give up that shirt that easy, and I can tell you now, it's probably not something that they are thinking about in the near future.
Is it too early to talk about how Wales might do at the World Cup? USA, Iran, England in the group stages?
I think it's going to be, you know, it'll be the tournament football. It'll be probably a final every game, and that's how they have to see it. I think they do have to learn from the Euros, and I certainly think Blakey's touched on it before. You know, when Wales played Denmark, I think that might have given them the experience going into the World Cup, because, you know, they lacked that game intelligence, you know, especially in the Euros. So for me, that is hopefully something that they'll be able to take into the World Cup.
And we hope, as Noel Mooney, the FAW chief exec, was saying, that this will be a transformative moment for Welsh football, for the men's game, for the women's game, for the grassroots games, the money that this can help to generate to improve Welsh football as a whole.
Yeah, because that's how you find your Brendan Johnsons, you know, your Harry Wilsons. It's investing in your country, it's investing in the grassroots levels, the academies in and around Wales, the Welsh Premier League, women's and men's. I think it all needs investment, and I hope that with the way the Welsh men's team qualifying for the World Cup, we'll see that filter down. And for me, they have to just really think about where the money's going to go, and I think if they get it right, it's going to be massive for the future of Welsh football.
Well, we hope it will be a double World Cup celebration this year as well. We hope you can make it with the women's team. Tash, it's been really good to have you with us. Have you enjoyed it? Thank you very much indeed.
Amazing.
Great stuff. Thanks for being with us. Nathan Blake's already gone somewhere to celebrate with someone. He's on TV tonight, match of the day, 10:35 on BBC One Wales. We've gone from 32,000 fans inside the ground to just a few dozen. They're off to celebrate, because 7 simple words: Wales are going to the World Cup. Never mind the Jubilee, this is the bank holiday that everyone in Wales dreamed about. This is no ordinary Sunday night in Cardiff. Forget 64 years, it's been 40 minutes since Wales qualified for a World Cup, and now you have got 60 minutes to share your joy.